Hello, hello, all in one and all, those who were, are, and yet shall be. Here for another afternoon, evening general hangout. Talk a little politics, maybe. Talk a little 3D printing if some of those folks pop in. Talk a little this, talk a little that, talk a little whatever. So, right now it does show one person is here. I do not know who you are, but it shows someone here. so, if you're here, feel free to chat in the chat thing there. And if you want to pop in and hang out and talk, actually on video, talk with me and whoever else pops in. Uh, you can either ask in general chat over there or send me a whisper, and I will give you a link so you can pop on in. That would be great. That's what these weekend hangouts are all about. And we'll just see what comes across our plate to talk about. I don't know, something. But for the time being, it's just me and apparently one other person who could be on Facebook. I don't know. Let me go look because I'm multi-streaming again on uh, the four different platforms, which I won't be able to do. Okay, I think it's someone on Facebook, which I won't be able to do for much longer because. And it's a bear. What's up, Mr. Bear? How you doing, man? Feel free to pop into the blue room over there if you'd like to, Mr. Bear, and I'll pull you in. It's just me, myself, and I someone else at the moment. I don't know who else. I know you and one other, but they're being sneaky. All right, good. They're not talking. Good. How dare they? Lurkers, lurkers. That's okay. I like lurkers. I like anyone who comes and hangs out. That's a wonderful thing. But we get Mr. Late Sleeping Bear, who's going to come in and join me here in a second or two or three or four. And we'll pull him in so you don't just have to look at, stare at my ugly mug. That I'm sure can get quite annoying quite quickly. Well, there are a few things I got to talk about. And it's a Floyd. Hey, Floyd, good to see you, man. Oh, goodness gracious. I get all OCD about my hat. I'm sorry. I bump it and my brim gets all out of whack. I'm like, and there is a Mr. Bear. How are you, kind sir?
I am doing quite well. Actually, hang on. Let me grab a.
No, you're not. You slept late.
Oh man, I did not get. I did not physically get out of my bed today until
What?
after 12 noon,
What?
and that almost never happens
What? Just last night you were talking about going to bed at 9 and waking up at 5.
during the week.
The weekend we can take advantage of. That's true. That's
Well,
true.
I here's the thing, and I don't like to rush.
Right?
A big part of my life
Uh
has
huh.
been rushing around, right, and I do not enjoy it at all.
Okay.
However, um, let's say I want to sleep in the morning
Okay.
because I find that I'm waking up and I have to rush around too much, right? Well, if I'm waking up and I have to rush around too much and I have to go to work,
Uh huh.
well, obviously I can't sleep in later,
Uh huh.
right? So I have to get more sleep. So I have to front load it. So
Okay.
if I normally go to bed at 10, and I found this out when I was in my like mid 20s.
Okay.
Well, if I'm normally going to bed at 10 and I need to wake up at 5
Uh huh.
and I need more sleep, okay, maybe I'll start going to bed at 9.
Uh huh.
That's an extra hours of sleep,
Yes, it is.
right?
Yes.
What happened was it was so lovely because I go to bed at 9
Uh,
and just drift off. And by 5 o'clock, I'm waking up and going, you know what? It's early, but I've had a full night of sleep.
uh,
Problem is, then I'm looking at my bed at 8 o'clock going, how you doing?
How about you and me, baby?
Yeah, and it was happening for a while. Like I said, this was in my early 20s, mid
Uh-huh.
20s. I was single. I had a
Right.
roommate. He
Uh-huh.
thought I was absolutely insane, right? Because here's
Uh-huh.
this guy in the Navy, and he's going to bed at like 8, 9 o'clock at night. I'm up and out of the house before he even wakes up in the morning.
Okay.
What? Right?
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it for the longest time I had a somewhat normal sleeping schedule, and then yeah, my wife consistently makes fun of me because she doesn't go to bed until like 11, 12 o'clock at night,
Right.
right?
Right.
And she has to
That
get up with, well,
that's
she has
me.
to get up with the kids,
Right.
but if I have to like go into the office, I'm up
Mm-hmm.
and gone before
Any of
anybody's
that.
even awake in the morning,
Okay. Okay.
right?
Okay.
So
So
in a lot of ways, I actually live separately from the rest of my family.
right.
Because if I'm working from home, I'm downstairs. They don't see
Right.
me unless I come upstairs,
Right. Right.
right? Now, on weekends, Fridays and Saturdays, uh, I play World of Warcraft from my time about 9 o'clock till midnight.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Well, at midnight, especially if, here's the thing, yes, World of Warcraft is a video game,
Right.
but there's another way to look at it. You take anywhere from, say, 10 to 15 to 20 people,
Mm-hmm.
literally all over the planet, different walks of life, everything different. And you
Right.
have to come together, and each of you have a certain set of skills,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
As in skills, personal skills,
Mm-hmm.
but also your little avatar, your little video game player has certain skill sets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there is a common goal, common challenge that you have to overcome, which being whatever big monster you have to go fight.
Right.
And there's a dance to it. There's game mechanics. So
Right.
everybody needs to do what they need to do when they're supposed to do it,
Mm-hmm.
being in all different places,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, if you think on it on those levels, it is higher end tactics,
Sure.
strategy,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
teamwork,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the reason I play it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because there have been times over the year I've been playing. Well, I started playing right after my eldest was born, so I've been playing about 14 years.
Long time. Long time.
Right,
Yeah.
I stopped playing for about a year and a half. There was an expansion that I didn't particularly like, but what happened was just before that expansion released, the guild that I was in fell apart.
Okay.
Right, and I'm looking at it going, you know what? This game is really boring if you play it alone,
Uh-huh.
and I have no interest.
Yeah.
So I left. A buddy of mine, when another expansion was coming out, goes, "Look at this!" And
And there you're off again. Yeah.
well, Blizzard, the company that makes the game,
Uh-huh.
they do phenomenal cinematics.
Okay.
Right, they'll make like a little cartoon cinematic of here's the next bit of lore in the game and the preview for the next expansion.
Right.
He sent it to me. I'm looking at him like, you bastard. I'm in.
Let me acknowledge a couple of Floyd. You just feel free anytime you want. Well, you know what? Let me reword this. You feel free anytime you want to pop on in. I was gonna, yeah, I was gonna use the literal. We're not gonna do that.
You stick whatever you want in anytime you want it. Oh, it's
Don't
great.
do that. Ooh,
I'll
and
say it.
no, and Kathy Hoover. This is the first comment from her, and I don't think you've ever commented if you've watched. Kathy Hoover was the drama and teacher at my junior college way back long ago.
Oh, wow.
And I was there on a speech and debate scholarship. So, but we did have to take.
Wait, hang on a second. You
Uh-huh.
went to school
Mm-hmm.
on a speech and debates competition. Or
Indeed. Yes. I was very good, thank you. I have medals and stuff to prove it. And she can vouch for that, by the way.
It's interesting the wording that we use.
Uh-huh.
You just said you were very good at it.
Yeah. Well, and I think I literally mean that because brain cells I just left brain cells laying behind me in my wake, so they're gone. But we did. But those of us who were in debate had to take it. It was a drama course and phonetics. That was phonetics. I mean, how you pronouncing, right?
Yes.
And I wasn't so great because I was raised in a rural area, and where she taught in Wharton, where I went, was a rural area itself. But you just have these bad habits in speech, and I was just no good. But I made it through the course, and I did not there. Actually, I helped at at the college. Hey, Lynn,
Hey,
I
Lynn.
helped at the college in, I don't know, one or two plays she did. I helped with the technical side. I didn't do anything. I mean, when I say helped, I mean I wasn't taking any courses or anything like that. I was, Magda, who was a good friend of mine, and she was actually majoring in the drama portion of it. She'd have me carrying stuff for her, that kind of thing. And so it was fun. It was a good time. Now I did have an act. I always like to talk about this. I had an acting debut in high school. I did.
Oh, well.
I did. I did. It was
12th
in
night?
it was in a play called Paint Your Wagon. And yeah, it's a musical actually. I think that was the name of it, Paint Your Wagon. Something like that. And anyway, my part in this play, remember I was in debate in high school too, not drama. But it was all kind of mixed there. And my part in this play was for about 20 seconds to walk slowly across the back of the stage in some costume cowboy thing they had me in. And that was it.
Okay.
I think I did very well. I'm surprised I didn't get an Oscar for that. I should have. I walked very nicely.
I have no doubt.
Oh, let me pull in Mr. Zolan.
Oh, dear. I mean, hey, Zolon, how you doing?
Don't call him dear.
I said, oh, dear.
Well,
Not this deer. Not that deer. Not the other deer out the window.
I don't know if we can hear him or not. He may have the...
You look a little stunned again today.
He does.
I don't feel good.
Well, what are you doing here?
I can either sit up here in my computer chair or I can sit up in bed. Either way, I'm going to be sitting somewhere.
Well,
I guess that's a good point.
There are differences in I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling good. I think I need to go see somebody. Or, you know what? I'm just not feeling good today.
Well, I just threw up, so I don't know.
Oh. Okay.
Even so, depending on who you are, right? Me, for instance,
I don't normally throw up.
Well, and that's the thing. I tend to have a very iron stomach. If I throw up, there's really something going on. But
and it
I'm
sucks because I have less than 5 days to get the van ready, including figuring out where I'm mounting this.
Wow, that thing is huge. Holy cow, that's huge. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, now hang on. Is that a 3 kilowatt inverter or is that a 3 kilowatt amplifier?
Inverter.
Oh, okay. All right.
Wow.
It's to run the rooftop AC on the van while we're driving down the road.
Yeah.
It are big.
Ooh.
Don't know if y'all know it or not, but there was another mass shooting last night in California. 6 dead, 12 injured. 6 dead, 12 injured. Shooters not
welcome to America.
They don't know who the shooters are. Apparently, they're talking to witnesses, and I think they have some video of it from people who were there with their iPhones or whatever they had.
Was it at Justin Bieber's house again?
No, it was outside some club. I don't know what club it was, but
you think I'm joking, but now he's had 2 shootings now.
I'm not
Well,
Believe
that's
me,
what happens when we let Canadians into this country.
Whoa, tabarnak de colis.
For all of you watching, the guy in the beard is a northerner. He lives up there.
I actually used to be more of a northerner than him.
Well, yes, but you were a good type of northerner. He's a foreigner.
I don't know if I'd consider Alaskans the good type.
True, Sarah Palin comes from there.
And she can see Russia from her house.
Yes.
Born, raised, and entered her first political office in Idaho. Try again.
Yeah, well, now she's running in Alaska and lives in Alaska. So yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's another one. I'm just not even surprised at them anymore. I stopped being surprised at them long ago. Now I get, the news comes across. I'm like, oh, another one. Okay. Call me next month when we have the next one. Yeah, I mean, it's pathetic.
Well, that's the problem, though. Humans are enough of herd animals that it just takes things to happen enough that eventually we go, meh.
It's the norm. Yeah, it's the norm. This pasture. We know this pasture. It literally. Hey, Rob.
Hey, Rob. Welcome.
It's the norm. And then over in Ukraine, Bucha, I'm sure you've heard this already, or maybe not. They pushed the Russians out of that city, but as the Russians were pulling back and the Ukrainians re-entered the city, 270 citizens were found in mass graves and another 40, their bodies just lying in the streets. Hardly anyone alive. Their hands were tied behind their backs and they were shot in the back of the head. Many of them mutilated. This is a genocide. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. And
well, if the Russian people and the Ukraine people are of the same genetic base, can it actually be considered a genocide?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because they are systematically eliminating people of a location, and an ethnicity, a heritage, or a religion, a group of people that can be identified.
Either way, it's a mass murder and it's a war crime. Either way.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's
because when they did that to Belarus, we didn't consider it genocide.
And it should have been, because the literal definition of genocide is the deliberate killing of a large number of people from a particular nation or ethnic group. So it's
even if it's the same ethnic group.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because at that
I didn't know. I'm only asking because I don't actually know the term.
I get it. Yeah.
Not jumping on, agreeing with.
But what can be done? I don't know. I mean, the West is again talking about even more sanctions, but I mean, really at this point, what
can anything else be done?
Here's the thing. If we actually cared about genocides, we would have done more in Rwanda. We would have done more in Haiti. We would have done more in
Rwanda once already. Yeah, absolutely.
And I've spoken on this before. There's a very big difference between those places and this place.
And go ahead and say it.
Skin color.
One, skin color.
Mm-hmm.
Two, the people who are being killed had nothing that the West wanted.
And that you're right. Sadly, you're right.
Except for we didn't go into Venezuela. And they have oil. Let me rephrase that. We did not go in boots on the ground. We did incur. There's rumor that we did help along a coup. So, okay.
Yeah, the thing is,
that many times.
The United States does not want or will not go after Venezuelan oil. It is too close to home.
Mm-hmm.
The public, or
that's true. Otherwise, we would have invaded Canada by now.
Well, yeah,
but it's felt that the American public will not support.
Now, but remember that
invasion of
we're not going after Venezuelan oil, but Biden is working with Venezuela to cut a deal with them, and he's undercutting Russia by doing it. Russia's not happy about it because they were trying to get their hooks into Venezuela, but we can offer more money, and they like that. So,
that's just it. We can buy Venezuelan oil
mm-hmm.
much cheaper and much easier than taking Venezuelan oil.
Right.
And that's what it comes down to, right? We went into Panama.
So we did a coup
Or
in
we-
hopes that
we-
we would get this deal that we would, that
Yeah.
we are now currently working.
But
If the
you-
original people in power were there, we wouldn't be probably making this deal. And at the same time, Bear is right. By doing it this way, we don't have to do boots on the ground. Whereas in
Right.
the Ukraine, being Russia, we don't want a coup because we actually like the guy who's in there. In fact, we probably helped put him there.
Yeah, and we are also now directly.
Hey, Corey.
Corey, how are you? And we are also now helping to get tanks into Ukraine.
Right.
That's new. We hadn't been doing that before. We've been giving them javelins and
We've been sending them small arms and shoulder mounted arms, not actual artillery.
Right. And now we're sending tanks in, which they can use.
a tank is not
Mobile.
artillery.
Sorry, mobile artillery. Tanks are considered mobile artillery.
No, they're not.
And some, I believe the 115.
No. But there
I can't help you on this one. I don't know.
There is a big difference between mobile artillery and a tank. There's a big difference.
I don't know.
Oh, yep, nope, he's right. I'm thinking self-propelled artillery, which is still different than a tank. He's right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He's right.
It's an interesting thing, though, historically, how the United States have dealt with South American countries, though.
Z, okay?
Right?
Okay, yeah. I worried about you all evening last night but you seemed to get a little better last night, and now you're flopping on us again.
It's the heat. I'm going to blame it on the heat.
All right, as long as you're okay. Hey, Groucho, how you doing?
You're going to kick both.
You're going to kick both of us.
Why is he going to kick people?
If you think about it, though, the United States traditionally have not put boots on the ground in South American countries. Mm-hmm. They have facilitated coups.
Oh yeah,
they have set up governments.
Absolutely.
But that's how the American government has dealt with South American countries, right? Mm-hmm. Places overseas, boots on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on in Venezuela is just par for the course. Right? It's business as usual.
Oh yeah, right. Right. Yes.
America wants access to the oil, so they will facilitate an American-friendly government in Venezuela, and then they will buy the oil. Win-win for everybody, because Venezuela gets to sell their oil to the United States.
Okay.
They get American money, which helps them, and it brings them into the umbrella of freedom.
Mm-hmm.
The sarcasm, but still.
Quick little announcement. I am now officially at 50 followers, 50 followers.
Yay! Did you get your email yet?
Thanks to the efforts last night and a little bit of begging I did this morning again.
Yeah, he won't get the email until 0 o'clock GMT.
Yeah, it has to be official. It's not like right now.
It's not even 24 hours. It's literally GMT time rollover.
This is the thing, Matt. You are going to get an email when it happens.
Yep.
Right. As soon as Twitch says, there it is, you hit the mark, you get an email. Because I actually got it a few days earlier than I thought I was going to get it.
Okay. Well, I'm ready. I'm waiting.
Good.
I'm waiting. Right. Yeah, I did. I begged 3 people this morning, and they heeded my call. And
he has 3 hours. You'll probably get the email in roughly 3 to 4 hours.
Well, I will be watching.
There you go.
I don't know.
I offer early and advanced congratulations, my friend.
Thank you. I do not know what's being discussed over here, but there's something about DHCP and diff and IP, and I can't help anyone on that.
Matt, I will be a facilitator here. And I will say it's nothing you need to worry about.
Thank you, Groucho and Corey.
It's computer nerd stuff. Quiet you.
Sorry, I'm not sure about
you got to change the name of that thing. And Corey and Groucho, y'all helped make that possible. Thank you very much. Yes.
Actually, I'm tempted. I'm tempted to add in a whole bunch of routines where, when I say the action word with various other things, it'll just spout stuff at me, and it'll become a bit for my stream.
I don't know. You should. I don't know what you should name it. You got to be creative.
Well, that's the thing though with Amazon's Alexa, you can
Uh-huh.
only name it.
See, look, you just woke. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. You can only name it Alexa or
Stop it.
or computer. Quiet.
Oh. See,
Alexa, order a bag of dildos.
no. The thing turned on and look, stop that.
Of note, you can go
Alexa,
into your
turn
Alexa
off.
settings. You can go into your Alexa settings
Hey,
on
Matt.
your phone. You can go into her settings on your phone and enable PIN requirement for ordering.
Oh, okay. She's turned off.
Matt, I want you to look at something here. Notice what the two computer nerds are wearing. Notice how we don't have these issues that you're having.
Yeah. Hey, Matt, Tactile 3.
Matt,
Tactile. You're doing the same thing I'm doing. I've been calling him Tactical 3D print picture ever since he changed his name.
Matt was on Liam's stream this morning and actually won some filament. And it was pretty funny, actually.
That's a good thing.
Okay. So.
Hey, Kieran, how you doing, man?
Hey, Kieran.
What's that there? Who let in the Aussie? What's going on?
Yeah. Let's skirt that edge of PG-13. How are your rocks doing, Kieran?
We've already skirted that edge, actually, before you got here.
Oh yes.
Yeah, in a big way.
Me telling your home assistant to order a bag of something also probably.
Oh, well, there's that. Yeah. Earlier, I really almost went. Right.
He won resin, not filament. Even though filament technically is resin, but still.
Resin is a type of filament.
Yes.
Everyone knows that filament and resin are the same type of thing.
No, and
filament
actually,
and resin are not the same type of thing.
I am.
Because not all filaments are resin.
I'm being sarcastic. Obviously, I couldn't tell you what either one.
And not all resins are actually resin. They're actually there's different.
Not all
types
resins are resin.
They still call it resin, but it's not actually a resin. It's a different base. Dude,
what about rosin? What?
Oh, he's gonna throw something at you. See?
No. I don't feel good, so my filters aren't as strong as normal. So I'm trying to. Baggy almost came out.
No, not here.
Exactly.
I was watching something on TikTok last night. A lady was making.
Nice one, Karen.
A lady was making. I don't know. She had she bought a metal or whatever kind of drinking mug, and then she was pouring like some kind of paint on it, and then she had different patterns of paint she was dropping, and then she had this hot air blower that she was using.
Oh, he's talking about the spin art that people have been doing, where they flood the paint onto whatever their surface is.
That's it. That's what she was doing. Yes.
Yeah. Jim at Edutech actually has a video series on it because he got interested in it after one of his guests was on for Hot Wings, and him, Angus, and the guest all did it on stream.
It looked really, really cool. And she was fast. I mean, she had like 1, 2, 3. It was quick. But I don't know. Okay. Spin art was trendy 40 years ago in showgrounds and carnies.
He's right. It was. I remember seeing it at the Alaskan State Fair when I was like 6 years old.
I never saw it.
And also in Vegas, you'll see it on some of the street people because they will do. There's one out there who does the whole spin thing, and he uses water bottles with a hole, and he has a rope tied to it, and they just swing over top as it spins.
Oh, okay. There was,
and then they hit it with the heat gun, which pops all the little bubbles that could possibly form, and it spreads the paint out differently. And
okay. I tried one time to take a few classes on pottery, right? Because it just seemed
because the movie Ghost moved you that much.
No, actually, no. It was because it was Had nothing to do with the movie Ghost.
Patrick
No,
Swayze looks so good in that film.
because of some studies in ancient Greece that I was doing, and
Mhm.
but it was a disaster. I tried and I tried and I tried, and I just kept ruining everything I touched. And I said, "Well, this one isn't for me."
Well, as I always say, those who can't teach.
Oh, I'm gonna throw things at you.
The full saying, however, is those who can do, those who can't
Yes.
teach.
Yes.
Okay.
Now he's going to throw something at you. Remember, he was an adjunct professor for quite some time.
I know. Which means he could, he just can't anymore.
I need to throw things. Yeah.
So if those who can't teach, what do they do when they can't even teach?
Oh, well, then they're just.
Oh, they stream on Twitch. Okay.
Ooh.
As we are all streamers on Twitch, so that's a self-deprecating joke there.
That hurt right here.
A little innuendo, yeah.
I would say it hurt right here, but there's nothing there to hurt. So
I was modding for the Free Heathen earlier. Love him. He's a great person, but it's like herding cats. Okay. Apparently, Corey was dealing with a wild crowd.
well, Free Heathen
Is
is
like herding cats.
yes.
Oh yeah, I've watched him before. He's
a great guy. Do
I
not
love-
get me
I
wrong.
love-
I wish he would
watching
actually
it.
join our streams.
But
But he's like herding cats.
They
And
got
I
into
have
politics.
noticed this is actually a trend of a large portion of Canadians who stream.
yeah, I could have to. Very much so.
Corey says they got into politics.
Oh, yeah. See, Free Heathen normally avoids that.
Oh, they got into it.
So, right. So
Well,
the crowd he had was not prepared for it, which means they probably, some of them went off the deep end.
Oh boy.
Here's the thing, though. The Free Heathen represents a very good indication, a very good example of Western Canadians. More importantly, Canadians from British Columbia and Vancouver in particular. They represent a unique and significant portion of Canadian society, which are different on their own, right?
Well, yeah,
I-
they're Washingtonians that think they're Canadian. Remember, I used to live in that area.
No, Corey was just saying those who can do, those who can't teach. When they can't teach anymore, they go into politics.
Oh, okay. That makes. I was going to say because I know Free Heathen normally avoids politics.
Yeah.
So I, which is why I was shocked when you said that. But now, okay.
Well, the thing is, the Free Heathen and I, we have a fair number of offline conversations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Best way to put
I actually have something I need to mail him because it actually got here.
Yeah, he is of the impression that he has been part of similar communities that I have. Whether it's true or not is yet to be found. Anyway, but I'm very much an Upper Canadian, somebody from Ontario. There are typical social.
It's no different than America. You go to New York, you go to the East Coast, you go to the West Coast. They're completely different types of people normally.
Yeah.
You go from the North, you go to the South. Unless you're talking North Dakota and South Carolina, those are pretty much the same. But everywhere else, it's a little different.
Yeah, very much.
By the way,
that's
speaking of politics, South Dakota has a representative of one of the towns who was elected. She is the first elected lesbian who is out in their government. And one of the mayors was trying to force her to remove the gay pride flag from her office.
No.
Wow.
And she has a beautiful mic drop speech.
Nice.
Oh.
Good. That's good to see.
This is in South Carolina?
No, it was South Dakota. South Dakota.
Oh my gosh.
My hometown of London, Ontario, there was.
Oh no, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. It was north. It was north. See, here we are.
North Dakota, South Dakota. Really, is there a difference?
Yes, there is.
I'm kidding.
There is a difference.
Yeah. But
here we are.
Anyway, my
I don't know if you guys will get the audio.
Hang on.
Let me know if you get the audio.
No.
Oh, I've seen this, and actually, the flag is on City Hall.
Yeah.
In this case, the flag is on City Hall, and there were people complaining about it.
Oh, I saw this actually.
Yeah,
I saw this.
This is her speech to this guy is beautiful,
and we're not going anywhere. Yeah, his response was, "Oh, thank you for showing me your hatred." She's like, "What?"
Yeah, he's an idiot.
It's idiots. Well, anyway, somebody wanted there was a group called GLAAD, Gay and Lesbian Alliance of London.
Yep. I know GLAAD.
Like that. Anyway, they wanted the mayor to make a proclamation on Pride Day, right? And the mayor didn't want to do it. So instead of coming across as homophobic, the mayor just said, "You know what? Proclamations, it's a very outdated thing, so we're just not going to do proclamations anymore." Just so she wouldn't be pushed into proclaiming Pride Day in London, Ontario. Right? It was just as I was leaving the city, and I remember looking at it going, wow. Okay. Another reason why I don't want to live here.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel very strongly that people have a right to their own religious beliefs. They do. However,
until they force them on you.
But that's just it. Once you are a public official, you now have two lives, right? You're no longer a private citizen. Things that you say in public, right, under certain circumstances, represent the agency that you work for or the city or whatever, right? So there is a difference. You no longer have the freedom and the privilege to say whatever you want because you are now a public official. You are now representing something. And regardless of your own personal prejudices, you cannot put those into your job, right? I'm not sure what happened because it's happened in both of our countries, but I'm not sure when the whole separation of church and state thing became, this is my religion and I will push for laws that follow my religion.
Oh, day one in America, day one. We had to add the creator and under God to our constitution in order to appease the religious folk.
And in our constitution, it recognizes the supremacy of God.
Thankfully, that's only in the preamble, not the actual meat.
But that's the thing. The same thing with ours. Represents the supremacy of God and then the sovereign as the head of state. Which means Canada is a Christian country. Right? For us it does.
I know where you're probably because for us it does not.
Yes. That being said, though, it is enshrined in our Charter of Human Rights, the freedom of religion and the freedom from being persecuted from that religion. Right? And even
funny
though
enough, in America, you can be persecuted by any religion. The government just can't help them.
Yeah. Now, for accuracy's sake, the word creator is in the preamble to the Declaration of Independence. And neither the word
I apologize. I said Constitution. They are different.
And
You're
neither the word creator nor God are in the Constitution itself.
He is right. He is right.
Under God is in our pledge, and that was put in 1950.
Yeah. Well, and our pledge was actually penned by a Catholic socialist, or not Catholic, Protestant socialist.
Well, the pledge initially didn't contain under God.
No.
That whole sentence wasn't there.
Well,
And our motto,
you're
of
right.
course, was a pluribus unum. It was not in God we trust. That changed as well with the pledge change. So,
And that was not even on our money originally until McCarthy.
so it's
and we just recently had a thing where there was a line in our national
Exactly,
anthem,
Corey.
Corey,
right,
yeah,
where
where
it's where it we stand on guard for thee, right? And they also wanted to change they wanted to change a line to make it gender neutral, right? And there was all kinds of people upset. Da 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 da. Well, what's interesting? Oh, you're changing the anthem, and this is wrong. My anthem says this. Blah 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 blah. The original anthem of O Canada, one was written by a French guy. It was written in English, and all it was O Canada, O Canada, O Canada, and some more O Canadas. That's all that it was.
That's it. That's all it was. Yep.
Lyrics came much later, and they've been changed so many times over the years. It's ridiculous.
Unlike our national anthem, which is about slavery and, anyways,
and the War of 1812.
our national anthem's history has not aged well, and yet. And all I have to say, and I'm going to leave it at this. If you're one of those people who believes that you must stand every time the national anthem's being played, well, I can tell you, I have never seen you stand up at a restaurant when the football game comes on.
Yeah. In Florida, with the Don't Say Gay bill, a teacher came out with a letter that she decided to send to some parents. She teaches K through third grade. And other teachers are catching on to it.
I saw this. It was beautiful.
I gotta tell you that I really, 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 really love the idea.
This is how intelligence combats ignorance.
The Florida House of Representatives has recently ruled that, quote, classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3 or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students. To be in accordance with this policy, I will no longer be referring to your student with gendered pronouns. All students will be referred to as they or them. I will no longer use a gendered title such as Mr. or Mrs. or make any reference to my husband or wife in the classroom. From now on, I will be using the non-gender title mix. Furthermore, I will be removing all books or instruction which refer to a person being a mother, father, husband, or wife, as these are gender identities that also may allude to sexual orientation. Needless to say, all books which refer to a character as he or she will also be removed from the classroom. If you have any concerns about this policy, please feel free to contact your local congressperson. I love it.
Because all she's doing, my apologies, all they are doing is going to the letter of the law.
By the letter of the law. And of course, there are parents who are just beside themselves about this.
Well,
that's not what they meant. Well, you know what?
Sorry, when that got shared by the local news station here in Oklahoma, the comments blew up, and a good portion of the comments were trying to paint her as a sexual predator.
Okay.
Yep. Because they were saying things like, well, why are you even talking about that in school anyways at those ages? You shouldn't be talking about that at those ages. Anyways, I was like, I'm sorry. Almost every single book talks about it in some way.
And no more. How many first, second, and third graders come home and say they got a little girlfriend or a little boyfriend? Can't allow that crap anymore. No.
Well, how many parents have turned around and said to their children, "Oh, you've got a girlfriend at school now"?
Sweet. That's so cute. I thought you weren't supposed to. I thought they're too young to even learn about that kind of thing.
Exactly. If they're too young to worry about that kind of thing, why are you doing this whole gender-based color in clothing?
Yeah. So,
which, by the way, is still a somewhat modern thing. Thank you, Hallmark.
So I love the letter. I think it's wonderful.
Oh, I do too. I love it.
But
It's
as
perfect.
I was starting to say before, this is how intelligence combats ignorance.
That's right. That's
Right?
right. And they hate it.
Play stupid games,
And we're going
win
to
stupid prizes.
Yep. See, we know how to do these things. This is the law. We're going to abide by the letter of the law. You
I
know,
unfortunately cannot say what that stands for on this stream.
okay. Yeah.
Change the initial F to an A, and you're good to go. Mess around, find out.
Yep.
Doesn't quite have the same
impact.
Yes. But I loved it. I thought it was a wonderful thing, and we will see.
I'm sure she's going to end up on disciplinary action for not teaching the required school lessons that are there in her her school's district's requirements. And at this, but then she can turn around. But then she can turn around and go after them for a wrongful termination because she was just following the law.
That's it. You can't tell me to break the law. No, the school can't do that. I must abide by the law. You know? And you can't get off into legislative intent. I'm just a teacher. I don't know about their intent. All I can just read the law. That's it. So if they didn't want the law like that, they should have written it another way.
By the way, Matt, can you put a link to that somewhere? Because I want to share it.
Yep. Hold on. Let me.
Yay! Comic Age Clothing retweeted us being live here. Holy, that's an ugly link, but it'll work.
Well, that's the link. Oh, thank you, Comic Age.
What am I looking for? Open link in new window. There we go. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, anyway, there. I was gonna say it just went. It's gone. It's gone. Away it went.
I unfortunately don't have a whole lot of things to bring up today, except I may have found some artistic inspiration.
Really?
Yes. Well, I was kind of looking through some designs and going, what do I want to do? And somebody printed and built a double helix DNA strand with a light. I thought, well, that's kind of neat. So I started looking around.
With just a light? Ideas. How did they do that? He's going to throw something at me.
Anyway, so what I decided to make was the Resident Evil vial.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually somebody on TikTok who's doing that.
Well, what I'm doing initially is I'm just going to do the Helix with the two ends of it. Cool. I may get a glass cylinder of some sort, but it's just to get printing and maybe take a look at something.
And if you have that kind of thing, can I expand that a little for you?
By all means.
You can also order on Amazon and other places the syringe gun that looks like the one out of the video game.
Resident Evil?
Not Resident Evil, but I've seen it combined with the Resident Evil T-virus vial.
There's a TikTok that I follow.
Same maker, same people who made Fallout, Bethesda.
Yes. Well, there's a TikTok account that I follow, and they make a lot of little things, and they put it in little vials, and they sell it, right? And they'll put like different colored liquids in it, and sell the video game stuff. They actually did one of these with two different guns for Resident Evil.
Why can't I not think of the name of the game?
Mr. Bubbles? Yeah, it might be. I told you, just take some quiet time.
Yes, the one with Mr. Bubbles.
Yep.
What the hell's the name of that game? I even own the game.
I don't know.
This is going to drive me nuts. It underwater, deep sea diving bell guy comes.
Hypnotica.
No, it's not Hypnotica.
Subnautica.
No, not Subnautica. Subnautica's not even Bethesda.
BioShock?
Yes, that's it. BioShock.
You're welcome.
And that, yeah, but anyways, the little girl who's running around and doing that evil laugh, she's carrying one of the little pistol things I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. I got you. So what I'm printing now is I'm printing the triple helix, I guess. That's about that high on my resin printer. And then I'm going to paint it up and maybe do some other stuff with it. But a friend of mine who is unfortunately a broken toy like me, he just texted me this morning. He said, "Hey, you know what? I'm thinking
I don't
of
feel
building."
Good. Sorry, I'm responding to SRS. SM, whatever.
He said he's thinking of building his own speakers and crossover units, and like he's thinking of starting a company if he can make a speaker that's decent, right? And I said, dude, do you know how much 3D printing stuff that I could do with speakers? He says, yes. So we may be starting our own business.
Matt, I shared it to you.
Of course, he'd share it to you, not me, but all right. We're all broken toys.
That's the injector I'm talking about.
Oh, yes.
That's because you can't pull the stuff in here, buddy.
Corey, yes, we're all broken toys. When I refer to a broken toy, I refer to a veteran who has PTSD from service. That's specifically what I'm talking about there. People within my circles, they know who I'm talking about when I say that, so I don't have to go into the whole deal.
I have a little bit of news for us 3D printing people. Wexter just sent out an email about it, and he's the second creator on Patreon that I have seen do this. Patreon changed something and all the creators, what it is, I'm not exactly sure, but all the creators on Patreon are having to jostle their tiers around. While they're doing that, if they pause the billing, it breaks any of the links that you have to go get like OneDrive or Google Drive to download the STLs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So please do not blame your Patreon people. It is Patreon itself that's causing this mess.
Well,
Wexter just emailed out everybody on the tier. Here's the link, direct, without having Patreon involved. Go get it.
Yeah. Now, I follow the founder of Patreon. He's a musician, and it's funny. The reason he started Patreon was just so, basically to give musicians a space where they can, sell and promote their own music without having to deal with record labels.
Yep.
Right. And it's turned into something much bigger. It's much more successful than any of the guy's personal music. Right. But I think sometimes with that, there may be decisions that he makes that might not be the best informed from a technology point of view.
Well, and Patreon has gotten big enough now where this decision may not have been made by him originally, and he could be sitting up there at the top going, "You idiots, put it back."
Yeah.
But it also could be because of something dealing with legal things, because the tax laws and everything keep changing right now, especially when it comes to online taxes.
Yep. Well, I know Jeff Conti is the gentleman's name. He just made the news, actually. This is relevant. He made the news recently because he is not shutting down Patreon for Russian creators.
Yes.
He's bucked the trend, and he has said specifically that he doesn't want to punish.
He doesn't want to alienate the people for the government.
Yeah, Russian creators because of what the government is doing. Right? Which it's
but at the same time,
to a point, right? If
Patreon, even though he didn't shut it down, they've got no way to send the creators the money.
Yes,
because with Swift being blocked.
Yep, and and that's the thing. Well, what happens? Does anybody who's a patron of a Russian creator, is that money just held in
Yeah,
trust?
it's held. It's held.
Right. But that's the thing. At least they know that at some point they will get their money, right? Hopefully. Yeah,
Depends
I
on
know,
sanctions.
But that's the thing. The question I would have had was, okay, is Patreon monitoring things close enough so that somebody can't pose as a Russian creator
Mm-hmm.
just to somehow get around sanctions and actually be a shadow for the government?
Yeah,
Right?
if they were going to do it that way, dude, they just do it using crypto.
Mm-hmm. For those of you who are, I'm interrupting. Sorry.
No
No,
problem.
go ahead.
For those
Your
of you
channel.
who are, well, yeah, but this is totally off topic.
Well,
Who are,
and
for,
my channel, but whatever.
for those of you who are subjects of the Queen, Bear.
That's the word I was looking for the other day.
Huh?
Yes.
It has been announced that her diary is officially under review, and she will only be carrying out light duties in the future, as she is dealing with, quote, frailties that come with living a long life.
Yes.
So I think they're unofficially saying she ain't doing so hot, and
well, she's in her 90s.
She did have coronavirus. That definitely took a
Yep.
toll, and she's old. She's 95. We were talking about this. I don't know.
Yeah, she's almost as old as you.
You and I were talking about this, Matthew.
Yeah,
Because
we were okay. Yeah, that as much as I have an extraordinary distaste for monarchy of any sort, I have really a great admiration for her. Always have. I can't say the same for her son,
Which son?
Well, Charles. I'm sorry. Yes, the heir, and but for her, I have. So it's kind of this is sad to me, but not nearly as sad as obviously it's going to be to her.
She has moved her official residence from Buckingham Palace to Windsor Palace.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Wow, she went home.
That's a big step, right?
That's a big deal,
right?
Yeah.
And this is the thing: when you have somebody who's been married a very long time,
mm-hmm.
they don't tend to stick around too long after their partner goes.
That's true. That happens quite a bit. Yeah.
Now you can't really apply a lot of typical things
mm-hmm.
to Her Majesty the Queen,
mm-hmm.
because she is very unique and different,
mm-hmm.
right? But she is a person at the end of the day,
yes.
right?
Yes. And
who has been working very hard her entire life.
Yes. Yeah. And they were very, very close. This wasn't a I don't know what to call it.
It wasn't a marriage of convenience,
right?
It wasn't a diplomatic marriage.
They were very close, and
yes.
So it's sad to see. It's sad.
Well, that's the thing, though. These times were going to come.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes,
right?
Of course.
In reality, do you really want the sovereign of one of the world's most powerful countries, one of the world's most powerful unions, as a centurion?
right. Yeah,
right.
There's that.
So she has been delegating duties to Charles for a long time and other royals. Right. It has been coming, but up until a couple of months ago, she was still doing 14-hour days.
Oh yeah. She's always been very, very busy. She was supposed to herself go to Jamaica, but instead sent William, and they were not well received at all.
No,
she, by the way, also would not have been well received there.
No,
they're not pleased, and I can't blame them. So
Jamaicans are troublemakers, didn't I tell you?
Oh
boy. Now, for anybody, this is a reference to a much earlier conversation.
Mm-hmm.
My father was born and raised in Trinidad and Tobago being the country. The unfortunate thing is I was raised in a very bigoted household that I did not realize until I was an adult. When I grew up, and I'll answer that in a minute, Corey. When I grew up, I was very much told people from St. Lucia are this way, people from Barbados are this way, people from St. Vincent are this way, Jamaicans are troublemakers. Because traditionally, and on the whole, people from Trinidad and people from Jamaica do not get along well. To the point that Caribbean Airlines, which is Trinidadian, and Air Jamaica merged. And they kept it a secret for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And when they did finally let it out, they had this huge advertising campaign where they had spokesmodels of Miss Jamaica and Miss Trinidad saying, hey, you know what? We're all brothers. We're all cousins, yada, yada, yada. Let's get along. Because on average, a Trinidadian does not want to fly on an Air Jamaica flight and vice versa. Right? There are very deep-seated feelings there. So this is why I make the joke. Well, of course, they weren't well received. Jamaicans are troublemakers.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so Corey says, how much does she really influence the direction of the country, though? I always thought it was the prime minister that ran things. Here's the deal. The way the British government is made up is the Queen is the very end, right? The Queen has final veto on many, 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 many things. Britain still has the death penalty. However, every order for execution has to be signed personally by Her Majesty because she is the only one that condemns somebody to die, right, in Britain. The Prime Minister functionally has control of the country. The country is officially a constitutional monarchy, wherein the Parliament actually runs the country.
Mm-hmm.
The Queen does have the authority to dissolve government.
Mm-hmm.
If things go off on a tangent and she looks and goes, wow, wait a minute, something extreme is happening and something extreme needs to be done, the Queen can dissolve government and say, nope, you're going to try this one over. Odds are, if the Queen did it, it would probably be the last time any monarch gets to do it.
Right.
Because the Queen's powers are limited by legislature. It's a check and balance, right? In many ways, what a republic does is they replace the monarchy, the sovereign, with a president,
Mm-hmm.
right? Many republics, their president is a figurehead, and they still have a prime minister that actually runs things. The United States is a little different, whereas the president is the functional leader of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But she does have influence, and it's more the Queen, the sovereign, is the steady hand on the rudder of a country. Right? That's very much how that goes. She doesn't necessarily take part in day-to-day running of the country,
Mm-hmm.
but there is still influence there. There is still power and authority. It's the big one there.
Well, there's also the aspect that a lot of the countries that still allow her to have influence over said country see her as the Queen Mother. Do you really want to backtalk to your mom?
I'll agree
Right.
with you, Zolan, only in that the wording is not quite right, because the Queen Mother was a person.
Yes, I understand that.
Right? But yes, she is definitely a matriarchal figure to every country she is the sovereign over.
Yep. Oh, speaking of that, I don't know why the guy always reminds me of a British punk, but even though the supposed scene takes place in America, in the latest episode of Picard, they did an Easter egg to the guy on the bus in
Yes.
the Star Trek Voyage
Journey
Home.
Voyage Home. Yep.
Journey. Yep. Whatever.
Same actor. It was the same actor.
Yes. Yes, it's the same exact actor.
I love that scene. I absolutely love that scene. It was fantastic, especially the way they did it. Oh my
But
god, it was
you
so
understand
good.
why when we're talking about Britain and London and all that, why
Yeah.
he flashed into my mind, because he in the movie and in the episode,
He
he's
looks so
dressed no different than a British punk.
yes, very much so, very much so. Agree, 100%.
Oh, and for those who are wondering, yes, that is the same boombox. Even same outfit, same hair dye, everything. The only difference is instead of an
He's much
attitude,
older.
he went different.
Yep.
Hey, Carl.
So did I tell you guys?
Hello,
Yesterday
Carl.
was
Nice to see you.
was my 2-year anniversary of retiring from the military.
Yes, you did. And we
What's
said happy
interesting?
divorce
Yeah.
anniversary.
What's interesting is 10 years ago today, this was my Facebook profile statement, status update. So, any ETs want to go to New York City for Fleet Week? So, what happened 10 years ago was I was on the destroyer HMCS Iroquois, and I wanted to go to Washington, D.C. for Rolling Thunder. It's Memorial Day weekend, right? It's the world's largest gathering of motorcycles. It is a memorial ride and a protest ride for Vietnam vets, right? I've been there twice. The first time I was there was about 450,000 people that showed up. The second time, it was about 1.5 million. Words cannot describe being surrounded by over 1 million motorcycles.
Okay.
Just I can't do it. I've been there and I can't do it. Every parking lot at the Pentagon can hold roughly 300,000 motorcycles. Right? How do you describe being in the middle of one of those parking lots? I can't do it. Pictures don't even do it justice. Anyway, I asked to go on this, and my ship said, well, we're going to be sailing to New York for Fleet Week, which is a huge party. The only way we can let you out of it is if you can find somebody to go. So I put the notice out to the fleet, right? Well, it's called Rolling Thunder because that's what it sounds like, right? It's pretty crazy. But so I put it out to the fleet. I said, hey, anybody want a free trip to New York City to go and party for a week? One guy who was about 4 ranks up from me said, yeah, I'll go in your place. I'll even drop my rank. And they wouldn't let him.
Really?
Nobody would go. Right? Turns out I couldn't go anyway because we were supposed to be sailing the Monday, and the Saturday I got a phone call from one of my aunts that another aunt had died.
Oh, no.
Well, being Indian and being the head of my family, I had responsibilities. Normally, you do not get compassionate leave for an aunt.
Right.
In my situation, because I'm the head of the family and I have responsibilities, I had to go. So they said, well, when's your flight? I said, I'm not flying. I was in Halifax and I had to go to Toronto. I said, as soon as you tell me I can go, I'm going to get on my motorcycle at 3:00 in the morning and I'm going to drive straight through to Toronto. He said, you're crazy. I'm like, well, it's what's happening because I can't afford it and you guys aren't going to pay for it.
Yeah.
All right. You have a week. Off you go. Roger that. See you later.
Whereas morning, here in America, it could even be your own parent who dies. Oh, you want to go take care of the things that you need to take care of? Well, you better file for FMLA and hope you get it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, yeah. Number one, if that happens, if it's a parent, you will get FMLA. But guess what? You don't necessarily get.
You don't get paid.
There you go. Yeah. Your employer can choose, and there are employers who will still pay, but there aren't that many.
Yeah.
I'm actually shocked. My ultra right wing conservative Christian employer would pay.
And see that at least that's good. That's a good thing to say about.
They even still paid me and let me go negative in my time off when I had to go in when I had sepsis and had hernia surgery the next year.
Wow. Wow, that's harsh, man. Well, Canada's military if it is a direct family member, or sorry, an immediate family member.
Hey, Polymate.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
We will have a chat on the speaker side. What to go for?
Well, Polly, do you have a camera and a mic? Because we can bring you in right now and talk about it.
Yeah.
Sure.
I would love that.
So yeah, if it's an immediate family, they will pay for your flight to go there and come back, right?
Okay.
And they will put you on compassionate leave, go sort it out, usually just have a week, go for the funeral, come on back, right? If it's not immediate family, they will usually give you the time. They just won't pay for your flights, which is fair, really, right? But like, say if I said, if my grandmother died and I said, well, my grandmother raised me, she was essentially my mother, they go, oh, okay. And they, more times than not, they'd sign off on it and yeah, off you go. Right. Our military is pretty good that way about stuff.
Good. Yeah.
I'm in bed, getting the little one to sleep, being a pain. That's right.
The little ones need to go to bed.
Yeah.
It can be a challenge.
He has been working on a new surround and cone system and everything that uses the same drivers that he's already had built. The driver mat is what moves the speaker.
Yeah.
And the pictures he's been sharing to Twitter are amazing.
Okay.
Okay.
Guys.
I want to be part of that conversation.
He's the maker of the 3D printed speaker.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
I want to be part of that conversation, considering what I was talking about earlier.
I need to apologize. If you two could just talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I'm getting very shaky. I've got to go get some food out of here. So.
Sure. No worries, man.
Matt, here. Here.
There you go. See, you know what? Like last night was such a great night for World of Warcraft raid. We are 10 of 11, I think, now, and we defeated 3 new bosses last night.
Nice.
Yeah, it was Matt and we had a short conversation about World of Warcraft, and yes, I agree with you. Many people, it turns into an addiction, and it has been very destructive to families, people's lives.
I almost lost the chance to be with my wife.
Yep,
because
agreed. Henry Cavill was almost not going to be Superman. Because he was raiding. The phone rang and he did not pick it up because he was in a raid, of course. Now, this is the way I see World of Warcraft, right? And it's the reason why, and I got called out for it last night because I only log in a couple times a week. But this is how I see it. You have a group of people from all walks of life, usually in very in far-reaching physical places, and they have to come together with their own personal strengths, weaknesses, skill sets, in addition to their avatars' skill sets, and they have to put all that together and do the dance and overcome numerous challenges. Right? That's exactly how I see it, as higher end strategy and teamwork. Right? Because I'll do some PvE just to level up my character and continue on until I get to end game. But WoW is a horrible game to play alone.
So
and if I don't have a guild that I raid with, I'm not playing it.
So my best friend, who I actually have been rather lax with talking with, but thankfully he's going to be in the tabletop RPG game when I get it going next month, or later this month.
What?
Oh yeah, I'm starting a D&D game.
Nice. Okay.
I'm going to be running a D&D 5th edition 5e game. We're going to use D&D Beyond and Roll20 to run it, and I will be streaming it as well. And I only have 4 players currently, my best friend being one of them. and my cousins being two others.
I've never
And-
actually played a D&D.
And Matt
Yeah.
is my fourth.
I've never actually played a D&D campaign. I've LARPed over
Really?
the years, but I've never actually played a D&D campaign.
I love running games.
Now-
Love it.
Well, with this, I've actually been looking for a game to
You want to be the
play.
fifth?
You
So
and I-
here's what we're
Well,
going to be doing. It's
let's
going to be
talk about it
4
offline.
hours.
Okay.
No, I'm going to talk about it online because I'm
Sure,
going to be
sure.
streaming it, so all these people are going to see it.
Perfect. Great.
It's going to be a Saturday, every other Saturday
Okay.
or Sunday. We're still figuring out which one of those 2 days. Maybe Sunday.
Sure.
It's only going to be, and it's going to be hard capped at 4 hours.
Okay. Which 4
So
hours?
the game that we're still trying to decide. I'm thinking late afternoon because it's going to be way too hot at that point for me to be working outside anyways, and that helps make it so people who have church or whatever in the morning don't have to blow that off.
Agreed. Yeah.
But the warning I need to give is the game I run is called Culture Shock.
Okay.
I take a party of D&D characters and I throw them into the multiverse, and we go to different gaming systems in different areas.
Yeah. Okay. My participation will be dependent on timing.
Right.
Right.
Session 0, which will be where we discuss more of the plans and everything else, will either be on the 23rd or 24th of this month.
Okay. Tentatively, I'm in. Yeah. I'll even dress up.
Awesome. So how we're going to do it is we're actually going to use something like either Discord or Microsoft Teams or something, and everyone's video is going to come in on that. The Roll20, while Roll20 can do video, it can't do what I want.
Mm-hmm.
The other option is we may use Restream, but I'll have to pay, or I'll have to have Matt add me as a manager on his, because I want the game session. I've even started working on my Roll20 layout. So I might come over here. I have to actually log into Roll20 for it to up. Come in here. So my idea is all the people who are going to be in the game are going to be in the frames that's down that side.
See.
But if I do it in Restream, then we can just all be little icons on the sides underneath, and my window's just the primary main window.
Right.
Oh, hey, what do I got a notification for? Cool. Free stuff.
Nice.
Always cool. Let me launch game here, and then I come over here, and boom, here comes the game.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
And this is actually one of the ends I created for it.
Okay.
So Roll20 will take care of, it's basically our map. It's our live on-game map.
Yep.
And then, as I said, we'll either be using Restream or whatever else to put people around. D&D Beyond is what we're going to be using for the books. That's part of why I'm dragging my feet on when we're starting, is because I'm purchasing the books.
Okay.
So I buy the books, and then since I'm going to have a DM account, anybody who's attached to the session as a player has access to the books I bought.
Right.
So this is no out-of-pocket money for any of the players except those who are helping with the hosting.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I did. Like I said, count me in as a firm tentative. Because I must pass all things by she who must be obeyed.
Oh yes, I had to pass it by mine as well. Basically, it was not until we do this trip.
Yeah, I cannot fully commit to something until I get permission. which is why I'm a firm
tentative.
tentative. Nice.
Anyways.
Well, hey man, yeah, two things. So yeah, the D&D game, that'd be cool. And like I said, I had a buddy of mine contact me about possibly starting to make speakers. Right now, this guy is a former ATIS tech like myself, so we're both electronics engineering technicians, right? So yeah, we may be building everything except for the actual frame, speaker frames and magnets. We should be able to fabricate everything else.
Well, if you have not talked to Spike, aka Polymate 3D, yet, I highly suggest it. He does have a Patreon as well. In that Patreon, he has. Hang on, I gotta. You can get all of his designs and stuff to print him, and he sells the motor kits.
Greetings, kid. How you doing? Yep. No,
Oh, hey,
Kit
Kit.
just came in.
Kit, how you doing?
Greetings, bearded ones. Which is me,
Well,
and I suppose kind of you too.
Me and Zolan are Van Dyke ones. He's a bearded one.
The gentlemen that are follically enhanced, yes. Or follically gifted. That's what I'll call it. Have you any idea what kind of size speaker you want to go for, Zolan?
No idea. At the moment, the biggest I can print is 235 by 235 by 250.
Did you see Liam's new printer?
Mm-mm.
He built it today on stream. It is 500 by 500 by 600 bed slinger. The thing is
what
ridiculous. CU
okay.
Something.
So it's not the new Odin.
No, it's not. But it's the company was going through Amazon. Amazon lost a full skid of their printers and then screwed them over. So they said, nope, no more. They're going through AliExpress now, which is shipping through DHL. But that machine is currently on for $500 US.
I only need to wire mine.
Mm.
I one of these days I need to get this whole mess cleaned up so I can set my cameras up and stream with you guys while I wire up my 410 by 410.
Nice. Well, see, my goal here, yes, a Creacy. That's what it is. My goal is my next thing is I want to get a laser, and then after I get the laser, the next printer will be a large format printer, and I'm going to start focusing more on cosplay pieces, and I'm going to start building full cosplays.
Ugly Link.
Very ugly Link, yeah. And the printer came with a 0.4 nozzle. And Liam did a little test, and he said, yeah, it looks pretty good. But what laser am I getting? I'm thinking of getting a K20. But I'm not sure. It's I don't have the budget for it just yet. I have to wait until I have budget to get new things. Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
So I want a printer with that build volume, but I do not want it to be a bed slinger.
Well, and Liam said something that really made a lot of sense to me. Obviously, a large format bed slinger it can be a problem. However, if you only use it to print big stuff, and you use, say, a 0.8 or even a 1 millimeter nozzle.
Oh no, my problem has nothing to do with that. My problem has to do with the fact that a bed slinger takes up even more space.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That is very fair.
That's my only problem. That's the main reason the 410 by 410 is not done, is because when that bed starts moving, it's bigger than my table.
Quite true. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I get anything else, I'm going to have to buy.
Oh, I cannot
table, right?
wait for Mir. When Mir gets here, I cannot wait. So for those who don't know what Polymate's talking about, aka Spike, he is talking about the printer that Maker Viking, aka Thomas, has been designing for the last year.
Ooh. Large
And
format Core XY?
Yep.
Nice. So wait a minute, we have hijacked Matt's stream into very much a 3D printing.
That's true. It's been a few years now. That's true.
Yeah.
He's building his own printer?
Designing his own printer. Designing
and building.
Printer.
A lot of people do. That's where do you think all these printers came from originally?
Yep. And that's 90%.
There's actually, I think there's a whole website on it.
Yeah, 90% of the whole 3D printing community is open sourced.
Oh,
right.
Yep.
And that is very much how the industry started. Right. So when you get into big industrial printers,
yep,
that it costs you like 20, 30, 40 grand for a printer. Yeah, you get into a lot of proprietary stuff. However, the smaller format,
right I needed
but the smaller format, commercial and home printing stuff, it's almost all open source.
Yep.
But that is where the industry has found. Hey,
hello,
the way the industry has been able to flourish is because of open source and many people coming together to design and make things better. Right. And that's very much what the industry is based on, is sharing info. And we got these 3 different speaker driver prototypes tested, I think. So Spike, I don't know if you were here for the conversation that Zolan and I were having. Is a friend of mine who
was here.
He's retired Canadian Air Force. We're both old radar techs. Anyway, he's thinking of starting to design and build his own speakers and crossovers and the whole bit, right? So he and I are going to be definitely talking a whole lot to see what we can make in-house and design in-house. So I would very much like to be part of the conversations that you have with Zolan regarding speakers and stuff.
And Spike, I still have not opened that package that you sent me. I have been saving it until I can start printing, which just happens to be the same weekend we're going to have our session 0 for the game.
Nice.
But this is one of his normal drivers and a new experimental driver that he designed.
Ooh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Right on.
And yes, that as he said earlier, the nice thing about his is you can actually unscrew the driver from the one speaker.
Yep.
And screw it into the next one.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. If my buddy wants to get into custom applications, that will really help. Yes, the DIY audio scene is a massive rabbit hole. Yes.
There is actually another maker. He's more commercialized than Polymate is, who's been designing desktop subwoofer systems that use micro subs, and he's got a whole enclosure and everything that you can 3D print.
There's a guy. Is he German or is he Swedish?
I think it may be the same guy you've been.
Yes, kind of a big round guy.
Yes.
And he's got a lot of really, really high end audio stuff, like for recording.
I have never even heard of using Mead as a 3D printing medium. Must be some weird Aussie thing.
It's Kieran and his fast fingers on the keyboard.
You mean 3D?
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, if Zolan and I are talking about the same person, I've seen some of the designs that he's done.
Yeah.
One, because he runs a Prusa, so I was interested right away. But yeah, if you think about the Bose system, where it's a whole bunch of caverns and channels and whatnot, he printed two sides of it, put a speaker in it, sealed it, and then, like I said, he's got some really, really high end audio analyzing.
Yeah, it's what he does for a living.
Yeah, and he was going around testing. Okay, how does it sound and whatnot? And some of the performance that he was getting out of teeny tiny.
Hey, comic, how are you? Yes, you have.
You made it to the twin. You know what? This is what it's becoming more and more.
On the weekends, it is literally a pub hangout kind of thing. I like it, but
No,
big
great.
announcement. Big announcement. Credit scores play an outsized role in American life. This is from Washington Post. Without a decent credit score, it's difficult to get a loan for a home, blah, 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 all that stuff. However, beginning on July 1st, the nation's three largest credit reporting agencies, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, will stop including the vast majority of medical debt on people's credit reports.
Wow.
That is a big announcement. That's big.
You do realize that's going to take my credit score from 630 to way up because all my debt right now is medical.
Me too. It is welcome news.
Yeah,
I'll be right back. I could tell my wife that. When?
July 1st. This is
that's a happy birthday present for both of us.
I wonder what caused this.
Hang on. This is no small change. Medical debt is the most common form. Well, yeah, we know that. Yep, and I'll wait for him to get back because I had a question that was just answered.
I can hear you guys.
Oh, I was wondering, well, wait a minute. What about the debt that's already on there, right?
Right.
Starting in July, medical debt will be removed from credit reports.
Yeah.
Wow.
Removed. That's the key.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that is awesome. Don't get me wrong. I still will pay the debt. I don't like it being that just, me trying to stay alive is making it so I can't buy a new car when my car's got over 300,000 miles on it.
But, and that's just it though, right? Credit is such a messed up thing because if you have no debt, right, and you have no credit, it's difficult to get credit. So wait a minute. If I don't owe anybody any money, I can't owe people money. At the same time, if I have a ridiculous amount of credit, but I pay all my bills off, that's bad too. Because if I have access to too much credit, they go, oh, no, that's not good. Right? And you can even have debt that you're actively paying off.
Mm-hmm.
But it still counts against you because it's debt.
Right. You asked why. The credit agencies are doing this because they see the handwriting on the wall from the current Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which is assertive and strong under Biden-appointed Director Rohit Chopra. The CFPB put out a scathing report on the medical debt burden. It warned it would crack down on credit agencies as well as hospitals and medical practices that are abusing the system. So they're just jumping out ahead of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because something I always tell everybody to do. Anytime, if you end up in collections with the medical bill or anything else in the U.S., do not just immediately pay it. Challenge it. Tell that agency to prove it is your debt. And before it even gets that far, this is something that was told to me by somebody who has over a 790 credit score in America, and they work in the medical industry, specifically in billing. And they say every hospital bill you get, challenge it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
At least challenge it once,
with you guys
twice.
Because this is something I don't deal with.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with this.
I have personally watched somebody with a $7,000 plus CAT scan bill that their insurance would only pay 20% of. They challenged it with the hospital, and it turned into only $100 of their own money out of pocket.
Good.
Wow.
Good. Isn't Comic Age the one that Comic Age? Aren't you? Is he the one that you said does the stickers and or is that someone else?
No, the stickers is DeWitt 3D, aka
That's
Tim.
the one. I'm sorry.
Comic Age is where I told you to go for your shirts.
Yep.
I knew that name was for. Okay, then I'll need to speak to you, Mr. Comic Age Clothing.
And this is the thing though, right? And I've been a big proponent of this forever. The more things you could do in-house, the better off you're going to be. I remember being in high school, and we had actually a graphic arts department in our high school. And the music department, we wanted to get a big calendar that we can write on stuff of events and stuff coming up. And it was
Mhm.
we were trying to get quotes from different companies. It was going to cost us a ridiculous amount of money. I'm like, wait a minute. And I literally called up the program director of the graphic arts department saying, hey, listen, is there any way that you guys can make us a big calendar and, make it a class project or something? He said, well, yeah, I'd have to see what materials we have and what we could do. And we got this big, beautiful printer, and it was professional
Mhm.
grade. Right?
You know what's
Is
cool
that going,
about this?
is that going to Dora or from Dora?
This Dora's sadly no longer with us.
Oh, okay.
This I printed myself.
Oh.
Now, here's the key. It's on metal.
It's metal.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have a dye sub printer. I have a laser transfer printer. I have a heat press. I have a vinyl cutter.
Mhm. But
I keep saying, I could go and, if I really wanted to, I could go out there, move a few things around and make my own t-shirts. I can do that,
Yeah.
but I'd rather help somebody like Comic Age
Uh,
Clothing.
Comic Age,
Because
do you have a website? If you do, go ahead and. will it
actually,
let-
not only does he have a website, but I will do this yet again because I did it when he first joined.
Oh, well, there it is. If I would pay attention.
Well, but no, Matt, in your defense, that was in my channel. So now what I'm doing is I'm attempting to copy that so I can paste it in yours.
there you go.
Aha.
So this is just it though, right? Because there's big companies out there. Like we all buy stuff from Amazon, right? My wife and I have discussions more and more. I have an issue with Walmart,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't like buying anything from Walmart. I don't like how they treat their employees. I don't like their buying practices. I don't like their business practices. And I've found that more times than not, the things that you get from Walmart are of a different quality than the same branded thing you would get somewhere else. Right?
Kind of why I don't shop at Kohl's.
I would not be surprised if the reason why Walmart gets things so cheap is because they buy in huge numbers and they buy lower quality.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Either way, if I could get something that's the same as what I could get at Walmart from a local company or from a Canadian company or from a smaller company
Mm-hmm.
where the price isn't huge, I would very much rather do that, right? My wife says that she finds dollars difference between things. So that's why she'll go to Walmart. And I understand that. Right? She's
and if you're just buying food, that's fine.
Right? And in a lot of ways,
I would prefer to support the local markets as well, but at the same time, when I can get a higher quality tomato for half the price at Walmart.
Yeah.
Now, and here, unfortunately, you would think agricultural area that we would have more farmers markets and stuff. Not really.
But so many
we're mostly ranch land. That's why.
And more farms are corporate owned farms.
Yep.
Right. So you don't get farmers markets. Farmers markets is going to become less and less of a thing. Right. That's just the way things are. Right. So I would rather support a smaller company. I would rather support somebody that I know. Right. Rather than going to some nameless company. Right. Or especially a bigger company. Right. So especially if I need something, well, it happened the other day. Somebody emailed me through my website to say, hey, I need this thing. Okay, it'll be about $21, $22 plus shipping. Where are you? Well, I'm in Red Deer, Alberta. Right? He's 2 hours away from DeWitt. So I said, hey, Tim, would you like this job? Now, I already quoted him a price. It might be lower than what you would quote him. But if you're willing to honor that price, I'll give it to you. Because why would I cost the client more money to ship something across the country when you're 2 hours away and you could ship it up there.
Right.
Right.
I mean, the
I'm
only
helping
reason,
somebody else out.
sorry, not the only reason. I wanted to help out Free Heathen because I like him. I really do. But he wants to be able to print TPU without going to direct drive, and he doesn't want to have to print slow. And specifically, he wants to print Ninja Flex.
Yeah.
So he went and looked at buying himself a CME CNC EZR extruder, which is a specialized top for the Ender series printers that has a full-on filament capture system built into it. Works great for TPU. You can print TPU Ninja Flex between 35 and 50.
Yep.
It works.
Yeah.
But since it's an American company, it would cost him not only the price of it, and then insane shipping because what USPS has been forced to do by the orange one, but now a VAT as well.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I could buy it, get free shipping, and then I can ship it to him for less cost as a gift.
Mm.
So he is getting a gift of an EZR extruder next time I go by a post office.
So, I'm sorry, I'm just going to jump in and interrupt y'all because I'm looking at things as well, and there's, I don't know how better to do this.
Spike, I agree with you, both of your comments. Go ahead.
In case you didn't think he was already lower than low could possibly be.
Oh, we talked about the turnip.
Yeah, I said the orange one. That's my fault. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Trump, as Trump's first term drew to a close, Sheila Craighead, his chief White House photographer, told the president's aides that she had plans to publish a book of the most significant images she had captured. This would not have come as a surprise, given that every White House photographer since Ronald Reagan has done so, with both George W. Bush and Barack Obama even writing forwards for their photographers' books. However, Trump's aides initially asked her for a cut of her book advance in exchange for writing a forward and help, then changing his mind, they asked her to hold off on her project so that Trump could first publish his own book using her photos. Seriously, man. Seriously.
Once a con man, always a con man.
Come on. How low this lady, this is White House, and actually this goes back before, I don't know why they limited it to Reagan. This goes back before Reagan to at least the Kennedy years that I know of, where White House photographers took their own photos, of course, they retained rights to their photos. Now the photos are still public domain in a specific sense, only if they're used on the governmental website. If they're not, they belong to the photographer, and those are the ones that they use.
Right.
And since Kennedy, they've been doing this. They publish after the presidency is over. They don't do it during the term. After it's over, they publish a book of the photographs they took and a little description under the photographs, what was going on, things that they can talk about.
Solon, are those your puppies?
Are those your puppies, Solon? Oh, they are. Yeah, they are. And now, and the presidents would write forwards, never have an issue with it, of course, because this is the work they did. The president's got enough money, for goodness sakes. And especially this orange buffoon always talking about how rich he is. And he can't let this photographer have her own book like every other photographer has had and use her own photos. No. Please, instead of us demanding that you pay us for a forward that other presidents have freely written, not only are we not going to do that, we're going to publish one first and use the photos that you took. I can see a court challenge here because if the photos were not used during his term on the White House website, they are not public domain photos. They are her copyright. And
also, you need to keep in mind, just because it's considered a public domain photo, a lot of public domain stuff, including in government, is not allowed to be used for commercial purposes.
That's not correct, sir. No, it's not. If it's on a government website, I can use it for any purpose. The government may not, under any circumstances, interfere with the use of documents, pictures, or any other documents that it has placed in the public domain. That's what the public domain is, meaning I can use it for personal purposes, commercial purposes. It is literally owned by the public. It is in the public domain. If I can make money using it, then I'm welcome to do that. I have to go find the Supreme Court ruling on this. There was a case on it.
Interesting. I'm not going to weigh in on this. Beyond my interest.
Yeah. Now, I'm talking about those coming from the government. And when it comes to other things, it should
USA.gov, government-works. You cannot use a government work in a way that implies endorsement by a government agency, official, or employee. For example, you can't use a photo of a government official wearing your product in an ad. Works prepared for the government by independent contractors, which these photographers are, may be protected by copyright.
They're talking about me. I'm not even talking about her. You just told me that I could not use a government.
You cannot use her photo that has been posted to a government website because they still own the copyright.
Willing to bet money. I'm willing to put money on. I've got to go find the Supreme Court ruling on this.
Not everything that appears on a government website is a government work. Content may be protected intellectual property used with the rights holder's permission. This content can include text, trademarks, logos, images.
But it will state it on the place that it's used. If there's no statement of copyright attached to it, it's public domain if it's on a government website.
You're actually supposed to, according to this, you are supposed to actually reach out to the organization of our government that runs said website and ask permission to use it.
Nope. Sorry, that's just not the case. I don't care what that website. I really don't care what that government website.
This is a government website, USA.gov.
Don't care what it says. I don't. I need to find the Supreme Court ruling because they ruled on this. So
if they've ruled on this, then if you feel that passionate about it, you need to contact these people and go, this is wrong.
Yeah, I'm not really that interested.
So, Lon, you're not suggesting that a federal government website is out of date, are you? You're not suggesting that, are you?
Last updated October 25th, 2021.
Okay.
What is that?
That sounded like a Facebook message or something.
Yep, that was to me.
Yeah, I'll have to find that ruling, but anyway.
See, here's something
the reason why
into.
I ran into this myself when I worked as a contractor, and I had to skirt some of this stuff drastically because if I was using anything I found on a website by said 3-letter agency in what I was making, even if it was for said 3-letter agency, I could run afoul of copyright and trademark laws. And I had to actually ask permission before I could do it.
Yeah, I have to find it again, but I've actually been approached on Brewminate about this for photos I use that were on government websites, and I very quickly alerted them to the fact that this is a public domain photo. There was no copyright attached to it on the site, therefore go away. And they emailed me back and said, "Oh, yeah, that's right," and then they went away. So I know I didn't cite the ruling in that because it should be common knowledge, but yeah.
This is probably how you got away with it, Matt, because you weren't writing a book for commercial purposes. You were working on a website that is considered news media, keyword there, media, and that falls under fair use.
Well, yes, it does.
That is different than publishing a book for commercial purposes.
But I'm going to have to read. This is not something we're going to resolve in a quick fact.
No.
Even looking at that website, it's not going to resolve it.
I'm actually looking at the FAQ from the government. And, it's 45 pages.
Yeah, I still think it is. If there's no copyright attached to it on the site, it's open. It's public domain. You can use it
so, as an example, the doc that I just linked, which is the doc that covers what we're discussing,
Mm-hmm.
It has actually in the doc, right on the very first page, a blue box that says copyright notice. This is a work of the U.S. government and is not subject to copyright protection in the United States. Foreign copyrights may apply.
Right.
If that is listed, you are dead on.
Well, that is the ruling that I'm talking about from the Supreme Court applied that by default to all government publications on and offline. The only things that are protected are those things which are specifically, in other words, they switched it. They said instead of saying this is not copyrighted, it's a government work, now you have to say if there's any portion of it that is protected, the portions that are signified as protected are protected. You can't use that.
Okay.
I've got to find that ruling.
It's considering the stock was updated in 2017. I'm assuming that ruling was before 2017.
I've got to find it.
Which means it may be covered in here, but again, it's a 45-page doc.
Yeah, we're not.
I'm going to have to read it offline.
Yeah,
it's a lot of info.
I wouldn't even read it offline, man.
Things like this actually fascinate me because the whole thing around public domain is a quagmire. Absolute quagmire. It is insane.
True. He is right about that.
When you jump between public domain, fair use, intellectual property rights, DMCA, it's a nightmare.
In the past decade, another monkey wrench was thrown into the works with Creative Commons licenses,
which I fully support.
Me too, absolutely. But you got to be careful on which one you're using and what it specifically allows you to do. There are a lot of people who think,
and what subsection of it.
Right. There are a lot of people who think, well, if it just says the word Creative Commons, it's like public domain. No.
Nope. Oh, no. In the 3D printing community, you will run into this every day.
Yeah.
Because STLs and models or 3SMs or whatever format it comes in normally have a Creative Commons license attached to them, and most of the time it's better to just assume that the license it has says you can use the works, you can make derivatives for yourself, but you are not allowed to repost said derivatives or sell without permission.
That is one. Yeah, there are several different Creative Commons types of licenses. There are the kinds that will allow you to,
and then there's open source licensing, which is even different than Creative Commons.
Yep.
Well, something that
in the academic world, we have what we call open access policies, and
that is which I've had to deal with as well.
But there are different open access policies. It's just like Creative Commons, so you got to be careful with it.
And that's the thing. If nobody ever stole anything, we wouldn't have any of these things, right? It always comes down to protecting the author from getting their works stolen or misused.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, if nobody ever killed anybody, would that keep us from having laws against murder? I don't know. I think we might still have laws against it, just in case anybody got the idea they wanted to murder somebody.
It was generalization.
No, which is why I didn't jump all over it, because
I know. But yeah, but this is the thing, right?
And usually he's the one that would jump all over something like that.
The problem with jumping on that one is, especially knowing it's a generalization, is in a lot of cases, Bear is correct. Most of our laws are reactionary.
That's true.
Sadly, when it comes to copyright and trademark, we have a lot of laws that are proactive. And those laws were made by lawyers who saw a way to make a quick buck.
Agreed. Did I tell you guys the story of the the frozen manure and the ladder?
No.
Not that I know of. It doesn't ring a bell to me.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Story Time with Bear.
Kick back, everybody.
This is a good one. It's fairly short.
If you got a pillow and a blanket, maybe.
So, I'm going to tell this from my point of view, but this was actually told to me. This was actually told to me by a friend. Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
So, I had to buy a ladder, right?
Uh-huh.
So I buy this ladder, I bring it home, and there's a big warning sticker on the side that says, "Do not place this ladder on frozen manure. And it had a 1-800 number on it.
Somebody did it once. Yeah, this
So I'm looking at it going, wait, what?
this does happen. You get labels saying crazy things
So I call up the number,
because someone did it.
and somebody picks up the phone. And I say, hi, I just bought one of your ladders. And you're calling about the sticker, aren't you? Yes. Well, here's the story.
Yeah, there you go. Someone did it.
There was a farmer in Saskatchewan who had to go up on his roof. It was a winter day. So he comes out, he puts his ladder down. He thinks he got it on the ground, but no, it ended up on one of the feet ended up on frozen manure, right? He gets up onto the ladder. He's up there with the heat of the midday sun started to thaw the very top of the ground. Right? The manure thawed at a slightly faster rate than the ground. So when this guy went to get onto his ladder, it actually sunk into the frozen manure, fell down, he fell down, tried to sue the company.
Yeah.
The only way the company was able to settle a potentially very large and expensive lawsuit was to put on a warning sticker. And the reason why they have that number is to tell as many people as possible how stupid this guy was, because he actually went into a court of law and said, Your Honor, I didn't know that if I put the ladder on frozen manure, that it would thaw, and it would no longer have a firm place to support the ladder, and I would fall down. Which is what people tend to say in lawsuits when they're suing a company for something stupid that they did. I didn't know. I was not adequately informed. Right?
And in this country, they win.
It's the reason why on hair dryers, it says don't use in the shower.
Okay, Bear, you're going to love this. In my bins, so I used to have a wall of geeky. It actually used to be right behind me. And basically it was a shelving system with a whole bunch of little things in it. And one of those things was a box that a knife I purchased came in. And on the box, it had the normal warnings that you would expect to be on a knife. But I had another warning that I found quite interesting. And it literally said, warning, do not leave knife in child. So if all these warnings come from the fact that something was done,
that worries me. Who buried a knife in a kid
and then left it? It isn't warning, do not stab child. It's warning, do not leave in child.
And then actually, the medical advice is, Dr. Mike talks about this actually.
Yep. If you accidentally stab yourself with something, do not pull it out.
Take it out. Yes. Oh my God.
Kenneth, mine too. I don't. Somebody apparently
But that is what I use to enforce my point, saying that the vast majority of laws are made to protect the stupid.
Now it might be a mistranslation because the knife was made in China. But
it's still valid. Don't leave a knife in a child.
That
How about don't put a knife in a child?
Now, hang on. From a very clinical perspective here, there are different ways to put a knife in a child.
Maybe they meant don't leave.
Yes,
with
but
child.
sometimes those aren't actually knives. They're things like scalpels.
I can understand if it was a mistranslation.
And that you don't want to leave a scalpel in anyone, let alone a child.
Agreed.
I can understand it being a mistranslation and it really meant don't leave knife with child. that I would get.
Baby goats are called kids.
Yes.
Don't leave a knife in your baby goat.
Well, Kenneth, since this is a slightly political stream, we can state, well, we are talking about China.
Don't let QAnon get a hold of that label.
Hey, well,
No. So you're telling me they're killing kids over there?
Yeah.
They are the country that used to, and I don't think they have it anymore, but they used to have the whole third child thing.
They had they had
No,
a
single child.
one-child policy. One.
Huh?
A family
child.
was only allowed to have one child.
They were
for the
allowed to have
longest
one
time.
child, and they've raised that I think to 2, maybe 3. I don't know, but
Yeah,
because they've experienced a population decrease.
Remove child from clothing before washing.
Actually,
I
because
love that
they
one.
not just a population decrease, they experienced a gender swap
Yeah.
for the prominent gender.
Well, but that's the thing. Especially
Remove child from clothing before washing.
But you see, this was happening in India as well.
But they make the clothes smell so much better when you throw them in the dryer with. I mean, really, you know, it's just like a bounty sheet or something.
If you have a family where you need to have a son, right, and your family is only allowed to have one child,
well, they had a lot of the.
They're going to try and find a way to make sure,
yes,
the only child they have is a son.
So, beginning in 2016, Chinese government allowed families to have 2 children, and then in 2021, all married couples were permitted to have as many as 3.
Now 3. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, the infamous ring around the neck. Kids get that a lot. My mom used to spit on me. She did. She did.
The whole cheek thing. Yeah.
With that stupid thumb. And, a lot of people think that's a joke. No one really did that. No, my mom spit on me. And, rubbing something off my face. Oh, it just made me so mad every time. Mom, stop it. Shut up. Exactly, Kieran. And it got it off. It just hurt.
Well, medically speaking, except for the fact it's not very sanitized, saliva does cause blood to coagulate quicker.
And you do smell the spit. It was horrible.
Well, at that point,
the only time you need to worry is when your mother walks up to you with her hands out, and then you hear her go.
You know something's coming.
That's the thing. Like, if your mother smokes, right, is a heavy smoker, I wouldn't want that on me.
That was my dad. Mom didn't smoke.
Yeah, see, but that's just it, though, right?
Yep.
Whew. Okay. Somebody must have something better.
Dad had this stuff. I don't even know what it was.
The backwoods, they used to control their kids with pocket knife.
Head thump.
With pocket knife, the head.
Yeah. Dad had this stuff. I don't know what it was, but he called it monkey blood. And he used it for everything. I was walking around with red stains all over me all the time. I'd bump into something. Here, boy, I got some monkey blood. I don't want any monkey blood, Dad. Yeah. I'll bet because I know that was, what was the name of it? Mercurochrome.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I know what that stuff is.
Yeah. He had bottles of that crap. And every time we got a little scratch or a little bump, here he came, ready to paint you red with this crap.
You mean betadine?
No, mercurochrome.
Oh, mercurochrome. Yeah, almost as bad. And actually, there's another one. Silver
nitride, I think.
Yeah, but it's got a slightly different name. But that's that one's interesting because you can actually ingest it as well. The problem with that is if you ingest enough of it, you turn blue.
Oh, yes, this I have seen. Yeah. If my parents
colloidal silver.
That's it. Yes. If my parents had been parents today, they would have been put in prison several times over.
Dude, if my parents were forced to deal with our current societal views and laws, I would have been adopted.
Yeah, I would have been totally yanked out of the home, and we'd all been gone, and they'd be in prison. My mom, my sister, my oldest sister, was very rebellious, and she was her whole life. But when she, little kid, very rebellious, and she wasn't allowed. Mom would say, "Don't leave the yard," and of course, that's the first thing she's going to try to do. And she kept leaving the yard. And Mom had finally had enough one day, and she tied her to the tree.
Wow.
Literally tied my sister to the tree.
My mom used to put a dog leash on my belt.
And she was so mad. I can't get out. Yeah, you're going to stay in the yard, aren't you? And she left her there for like an hour. I don't know how long it was, but yeah, Mom would be in prison today. But
Wow.
see, the thing is, though, to us that wasn't abuse. We weren't scarred by it. It was. We look back and laugh at it now. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's just hard to explain. A lot of people hear that story and think, "Oh, you had a horrible mother." No.
Well, actually, what's funny is in our current society, I'm willing to bet you could go out there and find the most left-wing, not extremist, but almost extremist people and say, as a child, my parents tied my dog to a tree. And then if you said they tied me to a tree, they'd be more angry about the dog.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, if I saw it today, I would probably say, "Hey, y'all don't do that." But I don't know. It was a different time. And,
but that's the thing, though. Think of how
I used to ride when I was really little, I used to sleep on the back deck of the window in the Chevy Nova as my parents were driving down the road.
Oh yeah,
I did that too.
We were stacked up in the bed of a pickup going down the road.
We had station wagons with rear seats that looked backwards.
Yes, I remember those too.
We had one of those. Yes, now, it was light blue.
Now, here's the thing, though.
Ours was wood paneled.
I remember hearing stories from my father. His father was a high school principal, right?
Oh.
Well, my father, if he was asked a question in class and didn't have the answer right there, he would get beat from his teacher. And then when he'd go home, he'd get another beating from his father for embarrassing him in front of his teacher, right?
Yeah.
My father was born in 1936. He grew up very hard, right? But this is the thing. I think of how my father grew up. I go, "Oh my God," right? I remember being the person who said, "You know what? As I was growing up, my parents hit me, and I needed to be hit. And when I have kids, I'm going to hit them too." Right. When I had my own kids, I said, "You know what? When there comes a time that I look at you and say, I need to hit you,
right,
or you need to be spanked or whatever, it's going to happen." I've never looked at either one of my children, and believe me, they've done some stuff. I've never looked at either one of them and said, "You know what? It's appropriate for me to smack you right now."
So with dogs, when we train our dogs and we have new puppy owners get their dogs, and then the puppy owner invariably calls us up one day and says, "The dog peed in the house. What do I do?" And my wife and I both say exactly the same thing. Okay. Well, first you go to the store and you buy yourself a newspaper, since nobody has newspapers anymore. When you get home, you roll that newspaper up and you smack yourself because you were the idiot who didn't let the dog out.
That's it. That's true. The dog is doing what the dog is doing. Yeah,
and kids are no different.
That's right. Yep. Kit, working retail, I wish, and that's that's true. I have personally seen parents get angry with retail store workers for their kids misbehaving.
Oh,
I'm like, wait a minute, why are you mad at them?
Well, and here's another thing, right? I would take my children out and I would try to teach them, don't run off. Right? And the rule was very simple. If I can't see you, right? If I can't reach you in a couple of strides, you're too far. So I would let them run a little bit ahead, but they had to keep looking back to make sure they're in the right spot. Right? And this was the thing. If you went too far, I'd say, "Oh, you're too far." And you'd only get about 3 where I said, "Hey, you're too far." And then, "Come here." And they'd have to hold my hand.
Yep.
And they were no longer allowed to run ahead. Right? I didn't yell and scream. I didn't spank or anything. They now have to hold my hand. I have taken away your ability to run away.
And if they yell and scream in response to that, we're done. You leave.
But But you know what though? My eldest, and it's part of being autistic,
Take care,
would
Polly.
would
Thanks for coming in, Spike.
have a
Much
good one, Spike.
appreciated. Sleep
She
well.
she would sometimes have meltdowns, right? And my wife very simply says, "Oh, fine, you're having a meltdown. Finish your meltdown. Good, up and we go." Our younger daughter, she missed out on a lot because they'd go to do something, the eldest would have a meltdown, and they'd have to leave. Just one of those things, right? But you know what? My children have never run rampant in any place,
Right.
right? A lot of that, when you see children misbehaving, and I firmly believe this, I am more than welcome to have anybody try and challenge me on this. When you see children misbehave, look directly at their parents
Mm-hmm.
and look at how their parents act.
Yep.
Because if you are around your children as a parent, you are the first and foremost example for that child on how to act.
Yep.
If you don't like how your children act, start looking how you act. If you don't like how your children talk to people, look at how you talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? My wife and I are both mature and intelligent people. Her so more than me. But we treat people with respect. We speak to people. We don't yell at people. We treat servers in restaurants with respect. We treat people in retail with respect, right? And our children, the older they get, the better behaved they are. But even when they were young, they didn't go around screaming and da-da-da and this and that all over the place, because my wife and I understood that we need to act the way we want our children to act.
Right.
Right? And we didn't have to beat our children into submission. We didn't have to leash our children just to get them to behave properly. We simply acted like proper adults and proper humans, and our children followed suit. Right? I'd like to say I'm a very lucky person that I have well-behaved children. Right? Well, I'm lucky that they don't have the personalities that made them very difficult to train. Right? Because you train children when they're very young. Right? That's the initial learning, is you train them. And then once they get to a point where their brains have matured enough that they can actually start learning things besides being trained, that's when, oh, well, it makes sense to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to act this way. Right? But my children have never been those unruly sort. And my wife and I don't yell and scream at each other. We don't throw stuff.
Right.
We're not those types of people. Right? And so our children see that and they go, oh, okay, this is how humans act. And that's just how they are. Right? And we have friends, very good friends, but they have very, very loud children who yell and scream and run around. And you look at how their house is, all that they do is yell and scream and run around and go, hate to tell you, but those kids don't act like that here. Comic Age, you have a good one. Take it easy, buddy. But yeah,
thanks so much for coming by. Appreciate it.
That's my 2 cents there, because yeah, you know what? There are bad children and there are bad people. Right? Some people just have a personality that they don't want to listen to anybody. But
nature versus nature.
More times than not, you look at their nature versus nurture.
Yeah.
Right? More times than not, you look at their example,
environment.
Right? And their environment is their example. It's their home life. Right? Because normally you don't have poorly behaved children. You have poorly behaved adults and parents who have treated their children to behave poorly. Or you have people like Zolan who just have yappy dogs.
Well, and people like Zolan whose parents, through the more informative years, were distant.
Yep.
As in, they would get up and go to work, then I would get up and go to school, and then I'd get home from school, take care of myself and everything else, and then I'd go to bed, and then about an hour after that, they'd come home.
Yeah.
My wife says I was raised by wolves.
And but this is the other thing though, right? You may be an exception, Zolan, but my experience with people is if they grow up in a less than ideal household, there's always a point in somebody's life where they make a choice. And their example when they grow up will always be their example, but it's which example will it be? Will it be I'm going to follow my example? Or I'm going to go, I don't want to be like that.
There's a reason I don't have kids.
No, but it becomes that example, right? Because I'm the same way. I'm very much like my father, so much that it scared me, right? He's the example of what not to be. But this goes back to where I say that everybody has a purpose in this life, right?
When your parents have to apologize to you when you're an adult for how they treated you as a kid,
that's something. That's a lot more than a lot of people get, right?
Yes.
Doesn't make up for it, but that is something, right? And
it's rough. When I talk to my sister, it's really rough because I got the rod, she got the carrot.
Yeah.
And the problem is I got the rod with only a little bit of the mental side of it. She got the carrot with all the mental side of
it. Nice one, kid.
Well, it's funny is I have grandkids, and even when I was younger, I would help babysit other people's kids and everything else. The kids loved me because I was strict, but I wasn't forceful. I kept myself fully in check around them because I knew my temper, and I knew my temper was a combination of genetics and example.
Yep.
And that temper is why I didn't have kids, because I was afraid of bringing somebody else into this world to just perpetuate that temper.
But that's just it, right? I have my example of how I grew up. What burdens me?
I'm 45 years old and I can still barely control my temper.
Well, what burdens me is my children. My youngest was, I think, a month old, or my eldest was a month old when she met her grandfather before he passed. Right, so they didn't grow up with him. They don't have that example.
I never met my dad's dad.
They're not going to get that example from me because I refuse to be like my father, right? So the other side of it is I have to try and be a good example.
Oh, God. I got that speech almost every week. Let's see, the most common phrases I got.
Generation.
Gen X, the most common phrases I got. Where the hell were you?
Yep.
Don't you ever think? Are you really that stupid? I brought you into this world. I can take you out of it.
Stop your crying. Do you want something to cry about?
Nope. Yes. Do you want something to cry about? I got the do you want something to cry about? And I've caught myself yelling this at puppies. That one. I'll give you something to cry about. And yet I don't, obviously. And the worst one of the worst ones, was the simple, if you don't want to be here, then leave.
Yeah, there's that one.
So
that works well until you go, all right, I'll leave. And they look at you and go, what? You're not going anywhere.
I lived in a tent in the middle of Alaska behind my elementary school and still went to school for 3 months.
Wow.
And my parents had no clue where I was until my dad called the school to apologize for me missing school. And the school's like, oh, he's here.
And K2, that was the rule for us as well. When the street lights come on, go home.
We didn't have street lights.
Well,
okay. we did.
And you can't really say when the sun goes down because the sun's down for months at a time.
Right.
3 days. We had 3 days. Sun wouldn't go down. my mom learned to stop giving me that one in the winter, especially because I would, be home before the sun gets down. Okay, well, it's now 11:53. The sun is just setting. But then in the summer, and that's in the sorry in the summer, that was in the summer. In the winter, there was no sun for 3 days. So yeah. Oh, look at that! Man, that was so weird. Get up, go to school. It's dark. Go out for lunch. It's light. Go home from school. It's dark.
It's dark. Yeah.
The only lunchtime. That was the only time there was light.
I've witnessed 2 Arctic sunrises now. Right? Where I was an alert 6 months of constant light and 6 months of constant dark.
Yep, I've been to Point Barrow.
Right? And the first time you go outside, it's 3:00 in the morning, and it could be high noon, messes with you. You go outside at noon, and it could be 1:00 in the morning. And you know how when it's really late at night, it gets that late quiet?
Mm-hmm.
When it's bright and you have that quiet, it is creepy as all can be.
Yep.
It's like, what zombie film did I just walk into?
Yep. And I found out something. It's the reason why I live in a basement. Or it's the reason why I exist in a basement.
So let me guess, you call her mommy?
That's right.
You live in your mom's basement?
I don't know why that whole...
No, I live in my own basement, thank you.
That thing that Zolan just talked about brought a movie to mind, and I have no idea why. It was, and I don't remember the name of it. It was in the 80s. I think it was an 80s movie.
The Thing?
No. I mean, one of those everybody disappeared movies. The comet or something went over, and people turned to...
Oh, The Night of the Comet. Horrible movie, but so good.
I liked it.
It's got a very famous lead female in it, and a comet goes over, and some of the people get turned into these weird zombies, but most people get turned into this white powder.
It was
Night of the Comet.
No, Kit, I do not call my wife mother.
Yeah, 1984.
Yep, I know that movie well.
Well, but
yeah, I liked it. I don't know why.
The main song, the best part is her and her friend, or I think it's her sister. They're skipping through an empty street to "Girls Just Want to Have Fun."
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that I discovered when I was up north
3D Jeff
is I get really grumpy. I get really grumpy in perpetual light. Most people go squirrely in
the Comet. I thought it was Night of the Comet.
I don't know.
I think it was night. It was not. Was it Night of the Comet or day?
Most people get really grumpy.
It was Night of the Comet.
Or they go squirrely in the dark. Right after 2 or 3 months of living in the dark, people go a little nuts. And
I go nuts in the light.
But that's the thing, and they have to use like vitamin D, full spectrum lights to give them right? Me, I went up there in the dark. And then once the sun came up, I got really, really grumpy. And I was grumpy all the time. And like to the point where the doc's looking at me going, dude, are you okay? So I'm like, no, it's light.
Yesterday, last night, you both said I seemed like I was doing well as the stream went on. What changed? The sun
went down. Yeah.
I do not do good in high, bright environments.
That's why I'm in red lighting all the time. All my Submariner buddies just laugh. They say, why are you always in red lighting? Do you miss it that much? I'm like, well, no, but this
yes,
Kit Fire.
Kit Fire. Wow. Yes, Kit Skyfire. We are not like Mr. Pence. We can be with single women and not have our wives think we're cheating on them.
Oh, good Lord. Well, in Mr. Pence's case, I think it's a little different.
I do too.
Methinks he doth protest too much. And no, SMR, I'm not a troglodyte. What was that?
No. He's the troglodyte. Or Luddite, if we want to be exact.
That guy right there. I got to make a graphic for you so I can just go
Who
through
are you
the
calling a Luddite?
you.
No, you're not. I'm not. Well, okay. I mean, I guess.
Hey, wait! Oh, crap!
If you could do all of this without having to worry about the technology, you'd be a much happier person.
Yeah, probably got to agree to that. Yeah. But I'm not a Luddite. But I'm still not a Luddite by choice.
There you go.
I'm a tech wannabe.
It's just too. You're just too old for all these newfangled things.
When the revolution comes, we may take pity on you.
Please, I beg of thee. Just throw
he's the good boomer, just like my wife.
Throw me in a room with a paper and pen, and just I'll pretend I'm on a computer.
He'll become Locutus. He'll be the one that we'll use to talk to the rest of them.
Considering I've been binge watching at night Star Trek: The Next Gen and to fall asleep to, that's rather creepy.
Right.
But I can tell you, there are days if the Borg came up to me and said resistance is futile, I would say resistance is not existent. No pain, do it. Of course, so then they look at me and say I'm inferior because of my physical problems, and that'd be it.
Yeah, but they just replace everything that you have wrong with you with cybernetic components, and you'd be fine.
Have you met me?
Sure enough. But you're really tall.
Yes,
you'd be able to get in those places that most of them couldn't.
And vice versa. I couldn't get into those places that most of them could.
Yeah, true enough. Did you watch the latest Picard?
Yeah, we already talked about the bus scene.
That's not the latest Picard. There was a new one on Thursday.
Oh, yes. She has been yes.
I'm really liking where it's going.
Huh?
I am, and I'm not.
Well,
I want more John DeLance. I love Q. Q and Wesley are the only reasons I watched The Next Gen.
Well, there's yeah.
There's no spoilers in me talking about Q, because if you've watched even the first episode or any of the commercials, you already know.
That's true. But that's the thing. There's already more Q.
There is another character who I have not mentioned because it would be a spoiler.
Very much so. But I
really like the actress they got. She is a perfect. Did they shave her eyebrows? Did you notice that or not? I didn't. I wasn't paying attention to that.
No, they didn't.
So she actually has eyebrows.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing is, I'm really liking where, like, it's still very much Star Trek, but it's not Star Trek, right?
It's like Voyage Home.
Yeah, kind of.
It's very much like Voyage Home with not as much comedy. Because we don't have Chekhov running around asking where the nuclear vessels are.
The nuclear vessels.
It's true. This is true. It's not campy.
Funny enough, Kit Fire Sky. Wow.
You just can't get it, can you?
Funny enough, Kit. I watched the Robin Hood episode last night again. And just like every time I have watched that episode, I missed the damn ending.
Yeah,
my body went into revolt, and I walked away while it was playing, and I missed the ending.
That's what I do. I just say Kit.
There you go. No, I'm
SMR Usenet.
I'm enjoying it. I think mostly because it's Netflix. Is it Netflix? No, it's not Netflix.
No, it's UPN.
It's Crave in Canada. But because it's a streaming service, it's not cable TV friendly.
Right.
It's one of the things I think I'm really enjoying about it.
It's
not, to use the term, whitewashed. Right.
Well, no, yeah, definitely not.
No,
in that
whitewash
same
being
respect,
very,
though,
very friendly, right?
what in that same respect, what I find it hilarious, the older Trekkies flipping out about that exact thing, and I'm like,
Oh,
if they could have done it when they were doing the original series,
they
they
would
would
have.
have.
Yeah, very much so.
We're talking
Very
about
much so.
cursing. They use a, and this is the other thing I like about it. They do use colorful language, but they don't overuse it.
Well, it's relevant.
Yes, it's like a word here and there, not every other word.
But that's just it, though. It sounds like real life,
People.
real life conversation, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
more also,
we've used better language here than they do on that show.
but that's the thing, though. When somebody is in some of these situations, even if they don't usually curse, they're going to be cursing, right? Like that's a natural response, right? Um, what I
There
like
are
to
times those descriptors are required, and I don't care what anybody says. Oh, you could use different words. I can use different words. I know more words than most people do, but that's a word that everybody knows.
and you know what? Sometimes there's just no substitute, right?
Yep.
What I really really like, though, yeah, that was
Yes,
kind of like Firefly.
Firefly using the Chinese words in order to get away with it
That
was
was so cool. But what I mean, though, is like when you could see, what's the character? Oh, 7 of 9's love interest. What's her name? What's her character's name?
her love interest.
It came out the end of the last season.
I didn't realize it was considered a love interest, but are you talking about God, the one who's always at no, she's already in a relationship with somebody else. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so you have Picard, right?
Yep.
You have the Spanish captain, Krios,
Right, because
right?
because
Then you have the commander.
The only true romantic relationship that I know of with 7 and 9 was with Chakotay.
No. You're talking in Voyager. I'm talking in Picard.
I'm talking in all of it.
Okay, listen. The end of the first season,
Mm-hmm.
one of the last episodes, when 7 of 9 came aboard Krios's ship, she and the commander, I have to find this. God damn it.
I mean, it shows her holding hands with. I can never say her name right. It starts with an R.
Rafaela.
Yes.
Yeah, the two of them actually have a
Raffi.
relationship. Raffi. Yeah, the two of them have a relationship. It came right at the end of season 1.
They
They
show them holding hands a few times, but they never explicitly.
Yes, it did, and it was addressed very much so. But Raffi's broken, right? Raffi's got a lot of problems.
Because that's right. Because in the first season, Raffi actually broke up with her wife.
Yes.
Because Raffi was married in the beginning of Picard.
Yes.
That's right. You're right.
I usually am. Season 1. If you don't get it from season 1, I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, my point is, they really show how much she's hurting. They really show how much that hurt is really affecting her.
Yeah.
Right? They're making it real. Nice. But that's one of the things, like, you watch some shows just for light entertainment and I want comedy and ha ha ha, right? You want other shows to actually want to see human condition. Right? You want to see people that, wow, you know what, this could be, yes, it's
real.
it's a science fiction
Yeah.
world, but these could be real people, right? That's good writing, is when you could look at people and go, these are real people. These could be real people going through real people issues.
You
Right?
know,
It's one of the
I
things
have
that I'm enjoying.
tried to watch Lower Decks, and I just cannot do it. If it wasn't animated, I probably could, but with it being animated, I can't do it. It's like the original Star Trek animation. I have it,
Oh.
but I could not watch it. My brain just won't let me do it.
You know what the original Star Trek animated series reminded me of? Rocket Robin.
Yes. And I
Remember that?
hated Rocket Robin.
But it very much reminded me of Rocket Robin, because it was the same animation style, and in those days they wanted to animate everything, and they weren't
Yep.
good at it. Right?
Nope.
But
the script was bad. The voice acting was bad. The animation was like made Hanna-Barbera look good.
Well, it's because they thought, well, kids just like watching cartoons. You could put anything on there, and it's drawings running around, so kids will like it.
But we're going to make it adult oriented.
Well, yeah. I don't know.
And don't get me wrong, that does, Heavy Metal, the movie, proves that can work.
Modern graphic novels.
Yep.
Right?
Every single comic book movie we have right now.
Very much so. And I would watch so much more.
BattleTech cartoon?
Yeah.
I know Robotech, but I don't know
Robotech.
BattleTech.
Well, Robotech was part of the BattleTech series, was it?
No.
Or am I thinking the other way around?
Robotech, the Robotech Zentradi Wars was its own thing, completely separate from BattleTech. In fact,
true.
The role-playing games, Robotech and BattleTech, are completely separate makers who have sued each other before.
Fair enough. I remember the original Robotech Macross City.
Uh-huh.
Right? When it first came out, right?
Yes, BattleTech is also known as
Mech Warrior.
And I used to run tabletop Mech Warrior games, not BattleTech, Mech Warrior. I love the role-playing aspect. The tactics were like whatever.
Yep. But
yeah,
but that's
my first exposure to anime was Robotech.
If there was more non-anime adult-oriented cartoons, and I don't mean adult-oriented, I just mean,
I know what you mean,
aimed at a mature audience, right?
I would watch demographic.
Yeah, I would watch so much more.
And there are some out there that are, Final Space. The first couple episodes I could not stand because it had a lot of awkward comedy. And my wife also hates awkward comedy. She actually started to like Final Space. Final Space was a good one.
You know, one thing I liked? The new Voltron. They
I haven't seen the new one yet.
They redid Voltron, and it's a slightly different premise. The modeling is still the same, still the 5 lines, right? But the premise is a little bit different, right? The Netflix one. I watched it with my kids, and honestly, I really enjoyed it. Oddly enough, the Teen Titans cartoons.
I tried. I couldn't do it.
Well,
could not do it.
That's the thing. It's a little immature, but it's one of those things where it's aimed at kids, but it's got enough jokes that only the parents would get.
Let's see here. There's Invader Zim, which was actually aimed at the teen demographic, but still had a lot of older demographic jokes in it.
Yeah.
That's by Jonan Vasquez, who also does Johnny the Homicidal Maniac and Squee. I love Jonan Vasquez's work. I always have. I'm going through my TV list because I'm a media hoarder.
We've hijacked Matt's stream again.
Okay, I don't know who this person is, but probably some other people do. A woman who played the short fused mother on Seinfeld and Mrs. Potato Head in Toy Story, Estelle Harris.
Oh, yes.
She died.
Mrs. Costanza
Yes,
was the
she
character that she played.
She has died at the age of 93.
Yep. Jason Alexander, the actor who played George Costanza,
That
he
I know.
actually posted about it and said, my TV mother has died. I'm
Yeah.
yada yada yada, right? So yeah.
Okay.
Dark Crystal, but that wasn't animated. That was puppetry, so that doesn't really count. And the new Dark Crystal just could not grab me. Solar Opposites, that's another animated one that's more for the older demographic that I like. It's by the same people who do Rick and Morty.
Okay.
Rick and Morty's another one, of course.
I haven't watched Rick and Morty for quite a while. I got into it for a bit.
Lower Decks, of course, but I'm not a fan of it. I have it, but I've only watched like 2 episodes. Cowboy Bebop, the original, but that's anime. Never mind.
Did you watch live action Cowboy Bebop?
I did, and as long as I don't think of them as being exactly the same, I loved it. But the moment I try to compare it to the original anime, no. Family Guy, American Dad, Simpson, and all those don't count in my book.
Also, after 2 weeks ago with when Clarence Thomas was hospitalized and released from the hospital, he is still unable to attend any hearings or any official matter or attend to any official matters. He is still home, ill, recovering nicely, as far as they're saying. But so we have no update on what. Some kind of infection. He is on extended antibiotics. And I'm just going to leave it at that so that I remain a nice person.
God damn you, Corey.
Hey.
Maybe
it's log, it's big, it's heavy, it's wood. It's log, it's that, it's good.
Perhaps the problem will sort itself out, as they say.
Yeah, I'm just being nice,
Yep. No, I get you.
Yeah, me and Kid are crossing our fingers. We're not going to tell you why we're crossing our fingers. We just feel like crossing fingers today. That's all.
Fair enough.
Nothing in particular. Just some finger crossing.
I do remember Ren and Stimpy was Canadian, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably so. Some stupid thing like that had to be Canadian.
Canadian, but originally broadcasted on MTV.
Yeah, they actually did a version of God Save the Queen.
Oh, no. Yeah, okay. I hate Wiki. So, Ren and Stimpy Show, also known as Ren and Stimpy, is an American animated television series created by Canadian animator.
Well, same. Okay.
Hey, Miller 3D.
By that logic, Superman's Canadian. Right? So
hello, Miller 3D.
It's a matter of what makes something Canadian or American, right?
Well, we already know that Canada's just America Light.
If it's remotely exciting, it's American. If it's Canada's just that, they get some things from us every now and then, take off with it, but usually it's just Canada.
We call it the Great Brain Drain.
They send us their national treasures like Justin Bieber.
No.
Hey, that's it's all yours.
No.
Yes, he is.
Do you not remember seeing that picture? Do you not remember seeing that picture? There's a reason why he's of him receiving the Queen's Jubilee Medal and what he was wearing.
Yes, we had this conversation, Matt.
Yes.
Yeah, he's not ours.
He's all yours. He's all yours.
We're taking Celine Dion back.
Okay, Abaddis.
And you can keep Justin Bieber.
I don't do awkward comedy. Trailer Park Boys is awkward comedy.
It is not awkward comedy. It's fantastic. Do you like Letterkenny? Because it's very similar type comedy.
Letterkenny is a little more dry.
Okay, and here's the difference.
Because remember, I like Red Dwarf. I love Red Dwarf.
I know, but here's the difference. Trailer Park Boys is maritimer comedy, right?
Yes, that's not for me.
I've actually been to the trailer park that's inside the city of what the entire show was based on. Okay, because the first few episodes were actually filmed in an actual trailer park. It wasn't a set.
Mhm.
And it was a trailer park that was in the city. It's not
Kind
in
of
the
like
outskirts
some of the,
city,
kind of
in
like
the
most
city.
of the episodes of My Name Is Earl.
Very much so. Letterkenny is very much Ontario,
Oh yeah.
right? It's very much Farmers Hick, Ontario.
Oh yeah, you
Right?
betcha.
Two very different demographics, right? But
Okay.
it is along the premise of both are very similar, right? The only reason for the difference in comedy is the location is different.
No, because
Because
there are some episodes of Letterkenny that make my skin crawl trying to watch. Don't get me
and,
wrong.
and
There
it's
are
very intentionally.
almost all of Trailer Park Boys does that to me.
No, I get you. What I'm saying is the reason why the comedy is the way that it is based on where it's from, is what I'm saying, right? Because if they had done Trailer Park Boys in Ontario, it would be Letterkenny. And vice versa. Speaking of which, the Tales of Shoresy is coming out. They're doing an entire spin-off just on Shoresy.
There are so many things I want to say right now that are just not allowed on this channel.
And Jared Kisto is playing Shoresy.
Well, of course he has to. He's the only. If you don't have that voice, it does not work.
Considering they don't show his face in Letterkenny,
I know.
Right? They could have hired somebody else.
You gotta have that voice.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Hutchmaker's face. It is not London. Hang on. It is not London. It's Listowel.
Yes.
There is a difference. There's a big difference.
But here's how they could do Tales of Shoresy. Don't ever show his face.
I know.
I think that'd be hilarious. A whole series where the main character you only ever see the back of his head.
Look at the trailer.
I love Red Dwarf.
Look at the trailer.
Okay.
Because when you're watching the trailer, you're like, oh my God. And then, okay. Well, very well. And that's the thing. I don't know if it was a joke or if it's actually happening, but yeah, I'm kind of excited. And you know what? I didn't want anything to do with Letterkenny when it first came out, because I thought it was kind of like a dumbed down version of.
Yep, they show his face.
Yep. I thought it was like a dumbed down version of Corner Gas.
I love the fact that they got everybody to have a missing tooth. Good old hockey.
The good old hockey game. It's the good old hockey game. Yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah, when it first came out, I was like, I don't want to watch that. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Until I finally watched the first episode. Yeah. I watched the first episode, I'm like, this is genius. Oh my God,
watched the first episode, and it was kind of funny because my wife being from northern Minnesota, and when I say northern Minnesota, I mean 20 minutes from Thunder Bay. She was sitting there going, they don't say that in Ontario. They say that in Grand Marais, but they don't say that in Ontario, because they kept using phrases that are actually from northern Minnesota and Michigan.
Well,
and she's like, okay, maybe they say it now.
Yeah.
But when she lived there,
they didn't.
That was an American saying, not a Canadian thing.
True enough. The thing is, though, they film it in Sudbury, which is not that far from Thunder Bay.
Nope.
And whew.
No. She said Letterkenny is it's about a 80% accurate. She also loves it because the main character in it is a dog breeder. Mind you, it's German Shepherds, but
I've known people. Like I can point out many people that I've grown up with from Letterkenny. In fact,
I follow Rolla on TikTok.
Who?
The actor who plays Rolla. The gay guy with Stewie. Rolla. The gutter punks. Not gutter punks. I forget what they call the skids.
Rolled. No, not Rolla. Rolled.
Yes.
Yes.
Rolled.
Okay.
I follow him on Twitter.
Yeah, so do I.
Or on TikTok, I mean. And it's hilarious because he's like, if you try to get him to say Stewie, he will ban you right then and there. Boom, you're gone.
He doesn't say, he never says Stewie. It's Stewart.
Stewart, whatever. Yeah. Dude, I don't feel good. Leave me alone. Sturgeon Falls. It's what happens when you go fishing and realize you caught sturgeons.
Oh, good Lord. I just looked at the time. I may need to
Yep.
go. I may need to go. Where? Good Lord, man. It's been 3 hours. What are you talking
And?
about? It's almost 8 o'clock. It's time for the old man to go to bed.
Oh, yes. She needs to put on her nightgown and go to sleep. I get it.
Bear wears a nightgown?
I don't wear anything to bed, Matthew.
Oh, see, I didn't need to
I thought he wasn't that kind of bear.
I was good without that knowledge.
Oh, you started. You did this to you.
I walked right into it. That's true. That's true.
You walked right into a naked bear?
Oh.
No, well, you know that.
Depending on which way you walk into it, that could be.
He's not that kind of bear. That's what he said.
But I didn't see what kind of bear I was.
Tell your wife I grew up in La Crosse that she'll probably know where that is.
My wife came from out east. So my Helix print is probably about halfway done.
Ah.
So that's
okay.
looking pretty good. Actually, I'm very pleased with that. So with that, gentlemen,
thank you very, very much for coming by again, Bear.
it is a pleasure as always. It's always fun to come and trade barbs and have some discussions with you fine gentlemen.
Indeed.
So I will wish you all a good evening, and perhaps
and make sure everybody
on the morrow. Make sure everybody what?
And you're not on that one, so I have to do it over here. So everybody who's here, do remember you can not only give Matthew here a follow, but you can also go give Bear a follow.
Right, that's right.
You
Over
can
at
give me a
SI.
follow. In fact, I'm now affiliate. So if you would care, or if you have your Prime subscription up and ready to go, you're more than welcome to drop it over there.
I'm kind of saving mine for Brewminate, but yes.
Yeah, very much so. I'm actually saving mine for him too.
There you go.
What's that? You're breaking up, Bear? Yes, I'm leaving. That's what's going on. It's that noise in the basement. You guys have a great night.
Hey, you take care,
see you
Bear.
soon.
Thanks very much. Sleep well.
Always.
And good night, Corey. Thanks for coming by.
I think they're thinking the stream is ending.
Oh no, Bear was leaving. That's all. I mean, Bear's ending. Bear has ended for the night.
And to throw it out there, if anybody wants to join, just say so, and Brewminate can go ahead and throw you a link.
Yeah, SMR. Well, it doesn't show it yet, but it shouldn't show it quite yet. Yeah, it still shows 46, but when I go to, I got some more followers last night, and then this morning I got a few more. So I go to the community followers list, and it shows exactly 50. So hopefully that will update.
So when I go to your page about Brewminate,
Yeah.
50 followers.
Really?
Yep.
How do you go look at that?
I go to twitch.tv/Brewminate. Since I'm not you, it'll actually show me your channel page rather than show the stream manager.
Oh.
So SMRC's 50 as well.
But share your screen. I can't. I want to see it.
Oh, you want to see it?
I want to see it. I've been staring at 46.
Right there.
Yay! Yes, we have hit the 50. Oh, yay. Oh, yay. 50 has been hit, and all of you made it possible. Thank you so much.
Yep. Now we just have to wait for the GMT rollover, and then whatever their automated process is to kick in and send you the email that says, hey, you can become an affiliate.
Yay.
At which point you will no longer be able to multi-stream in this way.
Yeah, no more multi-streaming when that starts. That's okay. I've got some plans anyway, so that'll be fine. That'll be fine. What is that?
The world's weirdest tripod.
Oh, I thought it was a tripod at first. Yeah.
Because it's one of the ones that came with those little lamps.
Okay. Oh,
the tube
yeah,
unscrews
yeah,
from the bottom and
yeah.
screws into the top.
Yeah, that's actually I have that. Hello, dummy.
Mm-hmm.
Right there, same exact thing.
Yep. No, yours is a little different.
No, it's the same.
The head on yours is different.
No, I just had it pointed to the side.
No, this one doesn't have a tilt head on it.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, mine does. Okay. Wow. I'm special.
So what is really cool for everybody out there who says that they don't stream, you still have a Twitch channel. You don't necessarily need to stream, but if you know somebody is live, you can go to your channel and type /host space and that person's name, and your channel will host them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. It's very neat stuff, man.
It's actually one of the reasons why I still do the shout outs for people who don't stream. So that way, if you want and you want to help promote another channel, you can just by hosting it on your own and not having to stream yourself.
Abbott is what's in it for me.
I actually have a auto host list that I've set up that has everybody on the Locker Gnome team and about another 30 people on it. So that way my channel should almost always be hosting something.
Something should be going, yeah. Yeah.
Now, sadly, I see that it doesn't always work.
Abadus, our eternal love is in it for you. And gratitude.
I got to go help Julie get the puppies outside.
Oh, okay. That's what's in it for you. Isn't that enough? Don't host those over 6'5". Oh. Yeah, I don't know how to do it. I mean, he just mentioned how to do it, but
how to do what?
Auto host, the /host, whatever.
So auto host doesn't use /host.
Oh.
Auto host, you actually have to go into your channel settings and set it all up.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Get off the table. Sorry. Walked into another room and saw one of the girls trying to counter surf.
Hey, nothing wrong with counter surfing. A little good time going on. A little bit of a good time. So, anyway,
I have to make it quick, but
what's that? Oh, the puppies. These are the puppies. Hello, puppies. Hello, the puppies. And y'all are going to new homes this week.
Not these two.
Oh, not those two. Okay.
These are the younger ones.
Oh, okay. They're stuck still. I wasn't on the table.
Okay.
Oh god.
Okay, they're all outside now.
So,
The problem is the younger litter It's in the is in the puppy box that's in the center of the house, so it's harder to get them in and out.
Yeah. I tested something today when I was out on Charlie, my scooter. I tested something and was very surprised. I had it hanging around I have a thing to hang the phone around my neck where it pointed out, from the center. And I put the AirPods in. And I decided I'm going to drive and go really fast and windy and all that and get close to heavy traffic. You could hear all that stuff, but it was actually pretty good. I was shocked.
Yeah, the newer AirPods and the iPhones, the audio processing that's put into them is actually really good.
Oh yeah, because I recorded
But
a few videos and the audio came out really well.
If you don't use the AirPods, their audio blows.
Oh, yeah. No, I'll always have to use those anyway. So it was
my wife.
Well.
She uses an iPhone. I use Droid. When I call her in the car, there are many times it sounds. She always uses speakerphone, and there are many times it sounds like she dropped her phone in the toilet.
Oh.
And somebody just did something on my side.
Yeah, I just saw a light do something.
RFS 3D just gave me a follow. Hi, RFS 3D.
All right.
Currently, I do not have my chat set so followers who just follow me can talk. So let me turn that off for the time being. And there you go. Now you don't have to follow me for 10 minutes to say something. And apparently, yeah, sorry, K2. I'm going to allow it. But you got smacked because it saw Grand Wizard and thought you were being racial.
Oh.
Yeah, he was talking about where was it? I do host, promote many channels, just never yours. I don't host those over 6'5". Says the Grand Wizard in the sky, and it took it as him referring to the yeah. So I had to go back and allow it.
Yeah, it's rather hinky. It is rather hinky. So, hopefully they'll find whoever the shooters were in Sacramento last night, because they so far have no clue. All they have to go on are the videos that were taken, and I guess maybe some videos.
It's those 3D printed ghost guns.
That's what it is. That's it. So hopefully they'll find them, because that's just, I don't know. It just doesn't surprise me anymore. We talked about
here I thought a ghost gun is when you carried a pistol while you wore a white hood.
Oh wait.
So Kit has two channels. Okay.
Okay, so RFS3D is actually Kit Sky, folks. I'll forget. I know I'm going to forget this.
Oh yeah, I'm horrible with names already, so
I will forget this, absolutely. If I see Kit Skyfire, I'll remember Kit, but when I see this one, I won't remember this. I'll think it's someone new.
I'm not quite sure what you mean there, SMR.
I don't know what he's saying.
For using an exclamation point at the beginning. Yeah, our streams see that as an actual command. That's the initiator of a command. So it shouldn't auto mod you just for using it.
That's weird.
Like I can come over here and say, hey, I want to gamble some of my beans. So I'm going to gamble. Let's gamble 100 of my beans. And I lost.
Trying to look over here. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, you lost 100 beans.
Yep.
I don't really understand that.
That makes sense, Kit. I have to, of course, now I have that stupid Samson and Sons theme song stuck in my head. Because one of the characters in the series was Red Fox.
Oh, okay. What is this? Well, I'm getting those annoying notices. The first of the first 3 or 4 days of the month when I have all the auto payment bills are all set to auto pay. I get the notification. I'm like, oh crap! This is the worst time.
Oh, and he came on over and gave you a
Oh
follow.
wow! Thank you for following me again.
51.
That's 51.
We don't call them points here. We call them beans.
Can I do that too?
We call them beans, not points. My channel, it's points. His channel, it's beans. Because, Brewminate, coffee, beans.
I don't know what that is. Okay.
Channel points. So
Okay.
when you become, when you become affiliated,
Mm-hmm.
and actually you may be able to do some of it now. I don't know. I have to actually go to your channel as if it's normal. So Brewminate, I need the normal one, not the moderator view. So on the bottom of on my channel,
Right.
there's this weird little Z, and if you click on it, that gives you things that people can do, like request.
Right.
You don't have it yet. I think you have to be affiliated first.
Okay. So what does it do? I mean, I see has 80
So
beats. What does that mean?
Oh no, sorry. Beans is Stream Elements, not Twitch. That's why I'm not finding it. Sorry. Your beans or points or Stream Element points that people can use to do certain things like gamble and play some of the games and everything else. But it also allows, if you do a giveaway, you can do a giveaway that uses tickets. And then that way people can use their beans to buy more tickets to the giveaway.
Oh.
And the reason, hang on a second. And the reason why you would want to do that is you earn beans just by being a participant in your channel.
Okay. Little incentive.
And that's why, and that's it. Yes, it's an incentive for people to sit in channel and say things and everything else.
Okay.
When you become affiliated, you'll also unlock Twitch points, not Stream Element points, which we renamed as beans, but you'll have actual Twitch points as well. And that will allow people to buy things like, you can set up different things that they can buy using those points. They're free. They're based on loyalty. They get them just by being there, by saying things, by interacting.
Okay.
So you can do things like, change of subject if you want. Spend 1,000 channel points to change the subject.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It allows your audience to have more of a participating role in the stream. I have some of the default ones, which are hydrate, posture check, and stretch. And Free Heathen is famous for using them. And basically people can use those if they feel I'm slouching too much or whatever else.
Okay.
And I leave them as a nice reminder especially on the marathon streams, the 2+ hour streams.
Uh-huh.
So that way, because I will forget to drink or things like that. And that helps me remember. Okay, my buns have been retrieved.
I don't know.
That can be taken in so many different ways.
Cats.
Well, I prefer a sriracha teriyaki sauce based myself.
Oh, no. I have 5 outside cats. They're not my cats, they're strays, but they've just adopted me. So every single day, 2 or 3 times a day, I go out and there's sometimes 2 or 3 of them there. There've been all 5 of them there before. Especially when they're really, really hungry. I'll walk outside and I hear,
so what you're saying is you have a bunch of, never mind.
Don't do it. Yeah, I have a whole lot of that waiting outside. And I feed it all the time. So yeah, I go out there and they're meowing and meowing and meowing.
How is Lilith doing?
She's doing well. I just, I'm still looking at getting that. I see her almost every day, every other day at least, and she'll when I'm there, she'll sit on my lap and won't move and kind of wants to follow me out the door.
Well, yeah.
You know,
As far as she's concerned, you're her original home life.
right? What's going on, man? Okay, I don't get along with other animals. Really, is that a reason for the breakup here? Well, yeah. You know, oh,
Bacon.
bacon.
Oh man, the puppies are loud today.
Yeah, they're really yelping today. So you're
Ow.
you're about to do a run this week with all those puppies, and then when do you have to do it with these?
A couple weeks later.
Wow.
But this time it's only 4.
On the second run?
Yep.
And how many on the first one?
6.
Oh my gosh.
And as you can tell, I can't wait.
Until the next time. How many? Is this a once a year thing?
No. It depends. This year is a lot more active than our normals. Normally we skip a year and then we do like 1 or 2 litters the next year. This year is going to be a heavier year just because we have a lot of girl dogs that need to be bred before it's too late.
Uh-huh.
And otherwise our genetic diversity will get too small.
Ah. Oh boy. Good time. Good time.
And yes, my wife is a dog breeder, but she actually uses science to do it, not just willy-nilly, I want another dog.
Yeah.
I don't have no clue where I'm going to put this in that van.
That thing is enormous. Enormous. Good gosh. And that's going to run the AC on the van.
I hope.
Have you not tested it? Might want to do that. Just saying.
Well, if it doesn't, it just means we'll have to get a smaller rooftop AC. Because the AC that's on the van right now is 4 to 5 years old, has only been ran a few times, and is not the one that we wanted to begin with.
Oh, okay.
There is a slightly lower power one that would work because we're insulating the van as well. I actually have 2 very large bags of wool insulation that'll be going in the walls of the van. But that won't happen this trip, unfortunately. So yeah. We're hoping we can get the rooftop AC working with this.
Yeah.
Because the regular AC in the van, I pulled the blower motor out. Blower motor's fine. It does blow, and we are getting cold air, but we're not getting anywhere near as much as we used to get.
Mm-hmm.
It used to get so cold driving in that van that it could be 90 plus degrees outside, and my wife is wearing a full-on Carhartt winter jacket with a hood in the van.
Oh my gosh.
It's no longer like that. And it's not that it needs refilled or anything else. No, the problem we think at this point is there's an evaporator, there's a radiator that's used for it as an evaporator in the AC loop,
right?
That is inside the dash, in behind everything, and bolted to the firewall. Mm-hmm. So to get to it, to clean it, because we think it might be clogged, as in the fins have stuff caught in them. Mm-hmm. The only way to clean it is to take the whole dash out.
Mm.
The whole dash, instrument cluster, everything.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not up to that.
No. I don't imagine, no.
We're hoping this will be a good temporary solution.
Right.
And since I've got solar panels I'm going to be putting on the van anyways, this will also become our emergency power.
Mm. That's a good idea, yeah.
With especially with the battery box that I'm building.
Yes,
because I'm going to be I'm actually building 5 of these battery boxes.
Right.
So that means I will have over 500 amp hours worth of power in battery storage. And I've got 800 watts worth of solar panels.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a good idea.
We're just making it to where if something goes really wrong, at least we've got power. Maybe
That's
not
true.
full home power, but we have some.
That's true.
And actually, funny enough, 3,000 watts is 18 is an 18 to 19 amp circuit.
Mm-hmm.
I run most of this house on a single 20 amp circuit,
Oh, goodness. Wow.
which means in theory, I should be able to run most of my house off of this.
Mm-hmm.
If we ever get to that point,
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually buying, it's a slightly different model than this one because the model I'm looking at also has a solar charger built into it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also 3,000 watts. We're going to buy 2 of those and have two battery banks, 2 solar cell setups, and that will be able to run our whole house in the summer, including the air conditioner.
Oh, good. Good. Absolutely good.
And we're not going 100% off grid. We're going, if we lose power, we don't need to worry.
Right.
Yes, our stove / oven, our primary heat source, our water heater, they're all propane. And we have a giant 300-pound propane tank. And when we build the new house, we're getting another propane tank.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I've been looking at a 800-pound propane tank that can be buried.
Oh, good. Good. All right. Well, folks.
You're going to call it?
Yeah, I'm going to call. I'm actually getting yawny over here. I don't know why, but I am.
It's 7 o'clock. That's a good time.
I need to kind of kick back and rest my. Well, I say.
In fact, this is the time that Chris Prillo and others should be spinning up.
Yep,
Let's go see who's out there. Subsector 3D's going. Scotty Rotten's going. Kite Crafter's going. Kite Crafter has 7. Subsector 3D's got 24. Scotty Rotten's got 27.
Let me see.
Kite Crafter is working on his Candy Crane gantry. Subsector is working on learning how to print with PetG.
Mm-hmm.
And Scotty Rotten is doing a 300 follower 12-hour stream celebration.
Well, then what we'll do, I've never, well, maybe I have once, but because I rated Subsector 3D the last 2 times, Kite Crafter a couple of times before her. We'll raid Scotty Rotten this time.
Well, let me pull him up real quick just to see what he's actually doing. I got to wait for the 30-second ad first. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Hey, I need to make sure I add that film to my list. An ad that I actually wanted to see. Amazing.
Oh.
It's showing me a new film that I want to make sure I have in my list. What's the name of the film? Come on. Multi-dimension, everything everywhere all at once. Now, everything everywhere all at once. Okay. Yep. Let's go ahead and do the giveaway. Let's go ahead and do the raid over to Scotty because he's also doing a giveaway in a little while.
All right, everyone. Thanks for coming in, and I'll be back again tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for the news hour and discussion bit as usual. Follow, help other people, all that stuff. And we're going to go ahead and thanks for coming in tonight and chatting with us. Much appreciated. And
always.
So we're going to go ahead and get ready to raid Scotty Rotten here. Let's see if it pulled up over there. Okay, yes, it has, which is good. It is counting down.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and raid him. And thanks again for coming, folks. And remember, if you're not learning,
you might as well be dead.